Okay, before we get started, big announcement. I'm going back on tour. I mean, I've already been on tour, but the official new tour is going to start June 8th. Andrew Schulz, the Matador Tour, presented by Monster Energy Drinks and Outbreak.
Shit.
Yeah, we got sponsorship, baby.
Oh, shit.
We got sponsorship. We take it to the next level. Yeah, so I put those dates up. We got 10 dates that is being sponsored by Monster. I want to tell you guys those dates right now. We are starting at Cobb's Comedy Club, San Francisco. Then we're going to Cincinnati, technically Liberty Township, June 21st and 22nd. Then we're going to Denver, the 27th to 29th. Then we're going to Houston, Texas, the 30th. Then we're going to Toronto, July 13th. Then we got Washington, D.C., August 15th through 18th. Then we got Chicago, Illinois, the 23rd of August. And then we got November, Boston, Massachusetts, the Wilbur. And then we got November 22nd, New York City, Town Hall. Big time.
Wow.
Yeah, big time. Town Hall is kind of crazy. The Wilbur Theater is crazy. Chicago's Dahlia Hall. These are theaters. Toronto's a theater, the Danforth. I mean, there's some big venues we're doing, man. And right now, I probably shouldn't tell you this shit, but fuck it. Technically, the tickets go on sale this coming Friday. Okay? But I already have the links live. so for the asshole army, you get your first chance to get those tickets. So make sure you get those. Get them early, man. I'm telling you, get them right now because they're gonna sell out. So get these shows. Get them right now. You have 3 days on everybody else who's gonna start buying April 12th at 10 in the morning. But the ticket links are live. I'm not supposed to say they're live, but to you guys, because you're family, I say that they're live. So you go get on it now. TheAndrewSchultz.com for tickets. And yeah, thank you so much, man. I'm really excited about the new tour. It's dope, man. So we're putting together that material right now. And for all the gigs you see on my website that are leading up to it, I mean, I'm still coming out to Cleveland this Saturday. Then we got the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, April 25th through 27th. Then I'm going to be in Texas, Dallas, the 3rd and 4th, and Nashville, May 18th, then Columbus, Ohio, 24th, 25th, and then St. Louis, the 31st, and then Ann Arbor, Michigan, the 7th. So those are all the shows that I'm gearing up for this next tour. So come see this material develop, come out, say what's up. And I can't wait to see y'all. But yeah, let's start the show.
Well, yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Glad I said this shit at the end too.
Yeah. You guys will realize at the end of this podcast why I just started the show. But now go.
No, because I didn't say where. April 18th in Houston, Texas. The Secret Group come through. I'm
headlining.
Sick. It's going to be me, my homie Donish, my Wolves featuring for me. It's going to be a dope show. One night, April 18th. The tickets are live on my website, AkaashSingh.com. Also, April 26th, 27th, Caroline's Comedy Club in New York. We're doing 2 shows. Me and the ABDC guys will come through. It's going to be dope.
Amazing.
You should come through one time.
If you were at the Houston show that Akaash and I did last time, that's the same place.
Same venue.
So it's a great venue, really cool place. They really support comedy down there. Fucking love it. So go make sure you check those out. Go get those tickets early. Get them early. Let them know Akaash is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's start the show. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Flagrant 2 No Easy Buckets analysis by assholes, water cooler commentary for your soul's needs. This episode has been brought to you by Manscaped. Okay, you shouldn't be shaving your body or pubic areas with the same razor or trimmer you use for your face. That's common knowledge. You should know about that. That's how you spread the human papillomavirus to your lips, or the other way around, which is worse, to be honest, if you get the lip blisters on your dick. Point is, you should go to manscaped.com and you should get those razors, get a whole kit, get the lotions, do everything you need to do so you don't have these horrible razor bumps down there. You don't have the thing where like you shave and then the hair is growing back in and it just kind of turns red. You got to like pop it. This whole
it's ingrown hair.
Yes, ingrown hair. That's what it's called. I don't know. I've had those and went to the doctor, and so I thought it was other stuff, but it wasn't. It was just an ingrown hair. The number one below the waist shaving company in the game is Manscaped. Okay, you got to get the Lawnmower 2.0 trimmer with the skin-safe technology for a smooth shave every time, everywhere. Tell your boys, tell your family members, tell your coworkers, tell whoever the hell it is that if they use the offer code Flagrant, they get the Perfect Package 2.0. Okay, that's the one I have, by the way. They have trimmers, razors, anti-chafing deodorants, body wash, moisturizers for your balls, your pubic region, the whole thing. Okay, they have this dope shaving mat also, so that when you're shaving, you can dispose of the hair easily. You don't have to just kind of hover over the toilet like I usually do, and then
you don't do like the pop and squat.
Oh no, I can't squat, but I hover over it, and then the pubes just kind of like go all over the toilet, and then I kind of wipe the toilet down.
Wipe around the brush.
It's a whole thing. They really did. Anyway, visit manscaped.com for all their products and more. And again, the Perfect Package 2.0, that has everything you need. Use the offer code FLAGRANT so you save money and you get free shipping. Now, let's start the show. I got my man Kevin from Barstool. I don't even know your last fucking name, man.
Clancy.
I know you as Kevin Clancy.
Yes, that's the initials, KFC.
KFC.
Francis Clancy.
Kevin Francis Clancy.
As soon as Alex walked in, he was like, does that have to do with chicken?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I need to work on my branding here because there's enough people who are like, is this about the fucking chicken?
Right. Okay, so we got Kevin in here. Kevin Francis Clancy from Barstool. You know him from KFC Radio. I recently did his podcast with Feidelberg Fights. We're going to get fights on here as well. I just want to divide you guys up.
Yep.
And I had an amazing time. Now, some of you guys might know the new internet phenomenon called Answer the Internet. Okay? This is the brainchild of Kevin and Fights, or just you?
I mean, we've been doing we're doing the podcast for like 7 years now.
Okay.
And basically, episode 1, the caller set the tone that we were just going to do like ridiculous hypothetical questions.
Love.
So we do them every week, and we said, fuck it, we put together like a whole catalog.
What's your favorite one?
There was an early one that was you get $10,000 for every second. Well, this is, they're ridiculous, but the most ridiculous one is you put your baby in a microwave for 1 second. $10,000 per second. We're sitting there like, 1 second doesn't do shit in the microwave, man.
Also, $10,000 not
I'm
that
not
much.
gonna lie.
Like,
Well, right.
10
Well, at the
seconds
time,
at
so
least.
we did it like 7 years ago.
So here's the
and
question.
And my buddy, the one guy on the show said, well, how many seconds can I do it? That's the real question. So,
Right.
Shit like that.
Okay, so it's $10,000 a second. I feel like the center of the baby's still cold for at least 10 seconds.
I mean,
you're going to
think
have a
about it.
cold
Like,
center of the
flip
baby.
him upside down and cook him
You got to put a
evenly.
little fucking paper towel on top of him and shit like that. This is now if it was
you
about
gotta-
my cat,
20
without
minutes.
a doubt,
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I hate that fucking cat.
Leave that shit on. How high can a microwave go?
My brother has done that. I mean, I'm probably gonna have PETA come up, but I've walked into my apartment and seen my brother like hoisting the cat over the oven and into the microwave, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, I was taking him down.
About it.
Yeah. I was taking him down. I go, from what? He jumped in the microwave? He's like, it doesn't matter.
Stuck.
Okay, so there's this show. You guys got to go check it out right now. I did an episode. Chrissy D did an episode. Theo Vaughn did an episode. I mean, there's some hilarious episodes out there. Brennan Schaub. And it's just 10 minutes of the most absurd questions on the internet, and you have comedians answering them, and I think it's fucking hilarious.
It's been very good, man. And some of the questions are like
I saw the one you put on your IG.
age-old.
Right.
Yeah, they're some of these are born from the internet. Some of them come from our callers. Some of them you've heard before.
Give
so
a good one. Okay.
I mean, baby in a microwave, I could go
Okay,
on
but that's a little crazy, right? There's other ones that are kind of reasonable. Okay, this was my favorite. I think.
Yeah, you tell me, because
Okay.
I mean, they're all like the fucking same to me.
Okay, so what would you? Okay, your mom and your girlfriend
This is a
switch
classic.
bodies, right? Okay,
Okay.
but they keep the same brain. Okay,
Jesus.
stop.
I don't wanna-
Wait.
Yeah, they're fucked.
Stop. Mom and girlfriend switch bodies, but they keep the same brain. Okay, you gotta fuck one of them so they come
I
back.
knew where it was going.
Duh.
I mean, yeah, you were saying like,
What
let
do you
me
think it was
finish.
gonna do? Massage that
Well,
back?
I reacted, and you were like, "What? Can I finish?"
Yeah,
you
but
know where it's going.
You gotta build it. Okay.
So you're fucking your mom's
So you gotta
body
fuck your
with
mom's
your girl's
body,
brain?
your girlfriend's brain, or your girl's body
God.
with your mom's brain. Okay.
See, everyone does this. I think it's a no fucking brainer.
Didn't I say that to
Yes,
you? No
yes.
brainer.
I think
easily.
You're sick. I think there's a right
I'm
answer and a
fucking
wrong
the
answer.
shit out of my mom's body with my
Yes.
girl's brain.
Yes.
Because
there's no way
not
I'm
even
fucking
a
my mom's consciousness. Christmas.
That's nuts.
No
she
way.
stays alive.
Yes. I mean, they go back afterwards.
Not if you do it right. R.I.P. Mama.
Okay, go. What would you do?
I don't know, fam. That's
Come
your
on, bro.
mom's
Just
body,
Think
dog.
about like Thanksgiving next year. Like, hey, remember that time you fucked me? Like,
Every
no.
time you look at your mom, though,
close
you
your
would
eyes.
know
Yeah,
you've seen
yeah.
everything
you have
in
to deal
every
with it.
way.
See, it depends on if you're selfish or if
Bro,
you're a
you're
bad
just
son or
going
not.
back to where you started.
Yo, think about it. You just close
In
your
a
eyes.
very
pretend, and
very
nothing
odd
happens.
order.
You've been there before.
Yeah,
You've been
go
in your
back up
mom's
in there.
pussy before, okay? Now you're
Your whole
running it
body,
back.
actually, man.
Yeah, this is just part of your body. This is the part, like a useless part of your body.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
then-
type of variables we could put to this.
You're
No,
putting-
no
I can't,
polls,
I
no
can't
nothing.
like drug my mom
Nothing.
so she's like
No.
fucking knocked out.
Nothing.
No. And you don't have to like go down on her first to warm her up. It's just straight. It's just
Hold on,
straight.
hold on,
That's
wait,
how
wait,
it
wait,
bro.
wait,
I mean-
wait, so Kaz, hold on, so Kaz's solution,
Did you come yet?
yo, Kaz,
Are you about to come?
No, that's another one we do. Would you rather have a good hand job from your
hold up,
grandma
though, hold
or a
up.
bad hand job from your grandma?
Kaz's solution was to rape his mom and then have sex with her. I need that to be known. Can I just Cosby
I can't
her?
just date
Actually,
rape her. Like
great,
she won't even know.
Great question. Would you rather date rape? I'd much rather date rape my mom than have consensual sex.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
true.
you.
It
Thank
made
you.
I would
makes
rather rape my
sense.
mom. I
Dude,
would rather rape my
I want
mom.
her Cosby'd out, drooling. Let's get this shit over
So
with.
wake up 2 days later, like what happened? Like I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Imagine your mom's giving you no reaction, and you're just like, "Really, mom? Like, dude, dad must be packing." Okay, which one? Cos.
No, that's what I said. I would hit my mom with my girlfriend with my mom's body. I mean, my girlfriend with my mom's brain.
Yeah.
With the little Cosby pill.
Wait, girlfriend, mom's. Oh, so she doesn't remember.
So she don't
any
remember.
Of it.
Like,
Oh,
I'm just
you're
looking at
You're
her
having
adding a
sex with your
variable.
girl, basically.
You're adding a variable.
No, yeah, that's too much of a loophole. Gotta do it. Gun to your head, bro.
Everybody's
Gun
had sex
to
with
your
their
head.
girl Passed out, man. Come on.
Here's the thing, man. You're saying it's.
Only Alex got the headphones. So
No,
he could say-
took me a
What?
second. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Nah, there's no way I'm fucking my mom's body.
Yo, here's the thing.
You fuck
Yo,
your mom's
I
body,
don't
that's
know.
tough on you.
Yeah.
But it's not ruining your
It's-
mom,
you're
too.
you're
I
being
love
selfish.
my mom.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're being selfish because your mom has to live with the memory. What you got to do is just hoist your mom's legs over your shoulders and pound that thing out with your girl's brain.
Just have your girl talk to you and shit.
Yeah.
Although it's your mom's voice.
your mom's
That's
voice.
weird,
Give
so
me your
no.
mom's
Everybody
voice.
be quiet.
Yeah,
You close your
yeah,
eyes, you
yeah,
get
yeah.
it done, and then that's it.
I gotta finish.
Yeah.
Hard. Son.
Wherever she chooses.
And you know what's crazy? It's your girl's brain, so she's enjoying it. You're gonna hear her moaning. She's gonna be really into it,
Thought
dude.
about that.
Whose voices are you
It's-
hearing?
Oh, the
Okay.
voice,
Your
the body,
yeah,
and
whatever
everything
your
is the
vocal,
same.
you know.
Everything's the same, just the brain and consciousness, right?
See, but my mom hasn't been laid in a while.
Oh my god. Wait.
So you want her to mentally be satisfied or physically be satisfied? Mentally, so you go girlfriend's body.
Wow, bro.
Sick pup.
Yeah, that's wild, man. You Puerto Ricans. Okay, so
Disgusting.
again, this is 10 minutes of these. This what was another one that I
Do
really
you
liked?
want to
Go,
do
go.
the most fucked up
Go,
one?
go,
I
go,
didn't even
go.
do it with you.
All right, good.
This one's real fucked up.
All right, good.
All right.
Yeah.
You got on one
Flagrant
side of you is your dad, and the other side of you is your mom.
Yeah.
All right. Your dad is 1 inch inside you, and you are 1 inch inside your mom. Which way do you move?
To get out. Yo,
Or get in? You know, depending on how you're thinking now.
not even a question.
You got
My dad is getting
Yeah,
is
Pops,
stroking it.
Pops,
Yeah.
you finna get all this,
Yo,
Pops.
yeah, right?
I'ma take a
me
deep
and my
breath
dad,
and
me and my dad.
and just move back with the deep breath. Just
You and your dad could talk through shit. That was weird. Remember that? That was weird. You can't go in. You
remember
can't
when I used to
contact-
wipe your
I'm not your mom.
ass?
Deep
This
in
was
it,
just like
no.
that.
No.
Yeah, that's one we haven't even fucked with on the actual
Jesus
show.
Christ.
Okay, yeah, that's an intense one. Okay, which one would you do?
Oh,
That's
God.
the easy one for me. Then you
Go.
back that thing up.
Yeah,
like
I'm
juvenile.
going
into Pops.
I think I'm going back to my dad, bro.
Yeah, no
Exactly.
question. There's
I
no
got
question,
to. Like,
fam.
there's no way I'm consciously like. There's something about just fucking your mom that is just not that doesn't fucking compute with me. But
Yeah,
like,
but so wait, to be
I can-
clear, you chose to fuck your mom in the last one, and now you're getting fucked by your
I
dad.
didn't answer. I have an answer in the last one. I do
Okay,
not know.
answer.
I
Because
think
if you're
I
willing to get
think
fucked by your dad to not fuck your mom,
You guys
then
had-
in the last one you should not pick your mom again. You know what I mean?
Right.
with you guys just did this exactly what you're saying I'm doing, which is weird. But first
do
of
you
all, you wanted to fuck your mom in the last one, and then
No, we didn't want to fuck her mom. We wanted to
you
not
were
fuck
really
her mom's
excited
brain.
about fuck your mom.
We were caring about our mom.
So you guys are making a very compelling choice for mom, but then when I ask whose voice do you hear, and you're hearing your mom's voice,
Yeah,
that's
tough.
fucking
Bro,
haunting.
she doesn't have to talk. Like,
Tape it up.
what do you think she's
Go
gonna
full
say?
Cosby
Bro.
Reference, man.
Yeah, it's your
She's-
girl.
Whose mom
It's
doesn't
my
talk?
dick. She's
It's
gonna
not
talk.
your mom. It's your girl.
Bro, it's my
Whose
dick.
girl doesn't talk?
She's gonna
So you
talk.
got
bro. She's gonna talk. Like noises will happen.
Okay, let me think if there's one more. We don't have to be on this the whole time. All I'm saying is this is a big plug for me because I think it's such a great idea
It's
for
good.
the show.
They're not all like completely fucked up, you know. There's some.
Yeah, but the good ones, in my opinion.
Yeah,
are.
basically.
Okay.
The real fucked ones.
Okay, there was one more. Oh fuck, what was it? I think we were texting about it. I don't think we even did, but somebody offered it up. Remember, I was like, dude, I just heard the craziest one.
Shit, I don't even know. I mean, again, these all fucking blend right into my.
Okay, one more that was wild.
The good hand job from your grandma or bad hand job from your grandma will put you in a pickle too.
Okay, what is that one?
Would you rather have a
That's
good
just
hand
that.
job from your grandma or a bad hand job from your grandma?
That's
Okay.
you know, like you want grandma like grinding away on it. Would you rather at least be like, well, hey, grandma, we got to be here,
What's
so I might
the-
as well get my nut.
Hold up, let me ask
Or-
this: what's the difference in time? Is it
Yeah.
good? You probably that's much
That's pretty
quicker.
quick. Yeah.
'Cause initially
But
I
then-
wanna say
but then
bad,
you
but-
also, you know, again, to use the Thanksgiving example, you show up, you're like, grandma's got those hands. Like grandma can work that dick. Just like grandma was at a rub and tug or something. You know what I mean? I think I'm going bad, but you're right. What if
But if
grandma
it's,
logs
no,
all
if it's
hands?
1 minute
bro.
good, 15 minutes bad, then what?
Damn, bro.
That's one wrinkle I never thought of.
That's-
Wrinkle.
I'll take 1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute good, no question.
I
If
just
it's
wanted to
close
last
the
as
eyes.
short as possible.
If all things are equal, time is equal bad. But if
Yeah.
it's mad quick with the good,
Yeah.
give me the
Get it
good.
over
So you
with.
guys are
Give me
gonna
that good.
nut on your grandmother's hands?
Yeah, that's what's up, bro.
No, that's not. I'm not gonna try to do that, but it's
Yeah, but
probably
if it's
gonna
good,
bubble
If
then
out.
it's
you
good,
know.
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she
It's gonna bubble out.
can't help it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It's kind of like.
she's just skilled at that.
Yeah, dude.
They
Dude,
probably are too. Like back in the day, like that's probably. I was like,
with the
all you
hand
could do
job.
for a little bit,
Yeah,
right? You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Oh God, yeah. I've never met my grandma, so this makes this way easier.
no, you're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck her too, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do I stop at a hand job? I never even met her. You want to blow me too?
Real technically, she's just some lady. Do you know what I mean? Like this would be very easy. I mean, they're all dead.
You
but if
wouldn't
they're
even know.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd let her jerk me off and the cum just pool up on her hand right here. You know. That's where we cross the line.
That's it. That's the one.
That's the line.
That's the one.
The devil's in the details.
I agree with
The
that.
devil's in
I
the
didn't
details.
care.
Like as soon as I saw that visual, I was like, yeah.
You know
nah.
exactly where it is, right there.
It looks like a
where the lobster
It
claw is.
looks like
right
a
there, yeah.
geyser, bro. It just, it's Old Faithful.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so this is what I do for a living.
That's
all
a
the
great
time,
job.
all day,
That's a
every
great
day.
Bro, it's so much fun of your podcast, Kev.
Yeah, it was good. That was a
That's
good one.
hilarious.
People were happy
Holy
with it
shit.
too. It was a big episode, big
Man, that's
episode
dope.
of the YouTube too. So thanks for coming through, man. Good shit.
Well, I'm glad to have you here on the Flagrancy, man.
Yeah, dude.
We had a pretty cool week. So basically, we were in Orlando, and this chick had a seizure during my show.
No.
Yeah, and Alex obviously comes to all my gigs with me. We film everything.
Well done, Alex.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sprung into
Well
action.
done,
Now
man.
we spoke
Well
about
done.
this on the last. We spoke about this on the last podcast. No, 2 podcasts ago, or last
Last
podcast.
Monday.
last
Yeah.
podcast. And we were telling you guys about what happened. Maybe we didn't do it justice, but we cut up a little clip of it. There's a clip on YouTube. It's about 10 minutes, and then we put an Instagram clip up, and it's about like 3 minutes or something like that. But they just went viral, man. It's kind of crazy to see what's going on right now. And most
Man, you should
people
have more
having
people have
fun.
seizures at your show, man. Get
No,
those numbers
these
up.
these moments, you know what I mean? So most people think they're fine, but the epilepsy community, which I didn't even know existed,
Yeah.
they are really seizing this opportunity
Got him. Got him.
and trying to shake me down.
For what? What? Just because
It's
you're
only
like
making you bigger if they get offended. I don't know if they realize that.
You know what I've realized is that their intention is just, I think the intention with all these folks is just to have something to speak about, right? It's like you have a Twitter account, you're gonna need to tweet something, right? And
But wait, so you saved? Like, are you cracking jokes about it? Or what? Like, why are they?
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
fun. Okay.
I was roasting her a little bit, not even really roasting her as much as like at first there was concern,
just trying to mix
right?
things up, you know what I mean?
And then we were just like, we made sure she was okay. The paramedics were there. I was making fun of paramedics. I was basically making fun of everybody else in the situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
He did comment on the, she hit that.
But I had a very good point about that.
Walker shimmy.
Yeah. My point about the shake was you don't expect somebody to die. Right? So when you see somebody like shaking, most people probably looked at her and they were like, whoa, she's really enjoying the show. Like, this girl thinks everything's so funny.
Your automatic assumption is not, oh, she's fucking dying.
She's passing out, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's why no one helped. Like, she fell out of the chair, and even then, people were like, yo, this bitch is loving the show.
Funny.
Yo,
Come
this
on.
guy's killing right now. Right? So, and these are the things we were kind of talking about on stage. But here's the most interesting thing about it I found, is it the Epilepsy Foundation's pissed off. Right, the Daily Mail in the UK did some article about it, etc. And by the way, fake news is so real because these people do no research whatsoever.
Yeah.
They said that the show was in New Orleans. That's number one. Okay, and then within the article, they mentioned that the show is in Orlando.
Right.
So it's like if you could get that wrong in your own
get
article,
anything wrong,
you could get it. There's just no, whatever. But the point is that all these people in the foundations were upset. All these people who actually have epilepsy are hitting me up like, yo, I got that shit. That was hilarious.
Yeah, come on, man.
And they're saying shit like this. They're like, hey, when you have a seizure, you're actually embarrassed. So the fact that like you're taking attention off of the whole room, just staring at her. Now that was not my intention. I'm not going to go out here with the cape like, oh, that's what I was trying to do. But I had all these people who actually have epilepsy reaching out going, that was funny, this, that, the other. And I felt like it was a perfect example of like what's happening. If you watch the clip, it's a perfect example of like what's happening right now, at least in America, right? There's a girl in the front row that tells me to stop doing jokes about it because it's not funny, right? And we have an interaction. And then she eventually says, I'm like, well, okay, maybe you don't have to find it. She's like, yeah, I know, because I'm a paramedic or something like that. And I'm like, well, why the fuck aren't you helping?
Yeah, go to work.
Right? Exactly. So, and that was America right now in like one microcosm, right? It's this girl didn't care enough
to do anything.
But cared enough to complain.
She cared enough to say something.
Yeah, and that is outrage culture in a heartbeat. It's all these people tweeting, writing their little articles and blogs, but when it comes to actually helping these communities they're offended on behalf,
They won't lift a finger.
they won't even get out their seat.
Comics perspective, few things. Number one, I've never had anybody have a fucking seizure at a show, but crazy things do happen at shows sometimes, and it's so great that Alex is there and knows you and knows how sociopathic well enough to know, like, I'm going to make this a thing.
Yeah.
Two, the brilliance of what you did, I think you do have to address it. You can't not, and you have to make jokes, because the whole room is
why you're
thinking
here.
about
That's
addressing the elephant in the room. It's exactly
Right.
what it is. Something just happened. There was a one-person stampede, if you will, and you have to make jokes about it and make light of it. Otherwise, it's all anybody's going to think about. I thought the brilliant thing that Andrew did was when the girl complained, saying you made this about you, and then doubling down with you're such a white woman. Because a guilty white bitch like that lost right there. You cut her legs out from under her. When you brought her race into it, now it's pointing out, and you're right, that is, to me, why I don't like liberal white women. But like now, what can she say back? Can she keep complaining? Because she's just doing exactly what you said she's doing. And I thought that was such a fucking...
It's because she fake wiped tears.
Oh, that's where you got it, yeah.
She was like upset that I was kind of making fun of her, and then at one point she was just like this, and she went like that and like that, but with one finger, like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody really wipes tears like that, right? But like that, and I was just so infuriated. I was like, you made this about you.
Yo, that was so good.
We don't know if this bitch is dead or not.
I damn near
you're
stood
the
up.
Victim?
Holding my phone, I damn near stood up and fist pumped. I was like, that's so fucking... As a comic, as a dude who just hates white women, I just thought that's so fucking perfect, man. That's so fucking perfect.
Yo, I ran into one today. You would have died. I was walking to work. I was coming from Grand Central. I walked by the Empire State Building.
Right.
And there is this bird.
Right.
That I later was told it was a woodcock.
Right.
I don't fucking know what a woodcock's doing. It was injured.
Right.
And this chick,
oh boy,
no doubt a liberal white woman. She had the liberal white woman haircut.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like the short bob.
Yeah.
She calls the police over for this fucking bird. And as I'm walking by, there's an NYPD cop on the phone, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, I got an injured bird here." And he turns to her. He's like, why don't you just put it in a shoebox and go to the hospital with it? Go to the hospital with it. And she's squatting down, and I couldn't tell. I filmed this shit real quick, but I didn't see how close. She kind of did a wipe, too. I swear if she was crying about the fucking bird, I would have killed her on the spot. And she was like, I'm not from around here. I don't know what to do. And this poor fucking cop, I thought he was going to kill her on the spot. But once you see that haircut, and once you know he's causing a scene, and I realize it's for a fucking injured bird in the middle of Manhattan.
Oh, God.
It was
Oh,
like,
man, I don't know
Jesus,
what
you
to
guys
do.
are the worst.
That haircut,
God.
it's a soft abdomen. They all have
Yeah.
a nice soft abdomen. they're all built
Six
like
packs
Ed.
vote for Trump, baby.
No. If you're in good shape, you're not voting for a female president. I'm sorry. I've never seen one of them that is in good shape.
I ain't vote for no
complain.
bitch I could beat up.
Hold on, let me think. Wait, you're not voting for a girl you can beat
the
up.
female, this in shape female's like, I could beat up my president. That's embarrassing.
I was about to say, like,
Yeah, I was trying to say, who's saying that?
you can just say you're not voting for women. That's totally all right.
But yeah, dude, there's a fucking there's an absolute look, and it really just comes down to boredom. They're bored. Like their lives are so good.
Too easy.
They're so
Yeah.
easy.
It's too easy.
They're
You gotta find
looking-
something to be
They're
100%
looking
about.
for shit to be offended by. They're just looking for problems, and that's how our brains are wired. It's not even their fault. It's like we're just looking for problems. We're trying to create situations, and my only issue with it is they act like it's not easy. Right? Like if they were like, listen, guys, our lives are really easy over here. So we got to take care of, animals and the environment. We just got, what am I going to do? Just live this easy life?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, instead they're crying like their life is so hard. Yeah.
And men are holding them down. It's like, bitch,
Sometimes.
whatever.
At times.
I honestly,
If it's your mom's body with your girl's brain in it, you know what I mean? You gotta just hold it down and pop away.
I blame white women for everything. I blame white women for slavery. Listen, I guarantee you a white bitch is like, let's get this house, this big ass field. And then eventually she's like, we're not doing anything with this field. Garden something. And then my man was like, all right, I can't. I'll figure this out. Just get a couple black people
I'm pretty
over
sure
here.
that's how slavery started. That's definitely how slavery
Bro, white women start everything. Helen
why
of
I
Troy,
was
that
like,
bitch started a
yeah,
war. They're the
true.
ones behind everything, just nagging.
Was she white, Helen Troy?
Had to be.
Yo,
Ain't nobody going to war over no black bitch. We barely even trying to save these R. Kelly hoes.
Yo! Oh, God, it's wildin'.
Name the black bitch we went to war for. Name me one.
Guys, why you upset? You got a black
I'm not
WWE
upset.
champion.
I'm not upset.
What you want, bro?
I'm not upset. I'm just like, yo, you might want. I'm looking out for you, bro.
I am gone.
I would
I'm
do
looking
it.
out- I'm looking
I
out
would
for you, bro.
enlist.
You can't just say how much you hate white women and then hate black women at the same time.
I don't hate black women. I'm just pointing out there's no historical precedent for people going to war over a black woman. But Michelle held up a sign like, bring our girls back. We ain't sending no fucking troops over there, but bring them back, though.
Yo! Son, if they kidnap...
I'm on fire!
Real talk, though. If they kidnapped 30 Swedish women, you don't think we would have busted down Sweden and been like, hey, give back our girls?
I would let the white hoes just stay. Y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all are gone.
That's
It's a better
fucked
place.
up. I never thought about that.
That's
That's
America,
why I'm
that's
not
not
even
me.
saying nothing. I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right.
Don't be mad at me. Be mad at America.
Nah, I'm not mad at you. I'm just like,
I'm not
yo,
talking to. I'm talking to
the eventual
The royal
epileptic
we.
community.
No, that's it. Yo, Akaash, we're
Like,
going
I'm
to
sitting
take...
there, I'm just like, nah, yeah, he's kind of right.
We're
It's
going to
the-
take your horrendous statement and we're going to spin it in a very positive light. This is so true.
not
If
even
there were real talk, let's
It's really
think.
not that horrendous to me.
What?
If
No,
there's-
no.
I
Meaning
totally get it.
the
It's
perception.
the true ass
the
statement.
truth,
What's
bro.
horrendous is that it's true.
That's what I meant. Though.
That's the horrendous
Can
part.
I
It's like, damn, it's
can I
true.
save you just before any backlash? Okay, I guess what Akaash is saying. He's not saying we shouldn't. He's saying
Agreed.
that's the way the world operates,
Correct.
and it's a great point because I'm thinking right now if there were like 30, dude,
This is really what I meant, though.
50 Italian girls, right? 50 Italian girls kidnapped,
Right.
right? And with you saw pictures of their little flowing hair and they're like, baskets of fucking cucumbers and
100%.
tomatoes. They're going to make shit. Do you think that we would have just held up a poster?
No chance, bruh.
Oh, people just don't give a fuck about black women, period.
Yo, you know what?
facts.
Flagrant
People don't
2 is going to start doing?
It's facts.
This is something you need to bring up at Essence
No,
Fest
Bill
this year.
Cosby's in
You
jail
need to
right
really make
now.
this a point.
Yo, this year at Essence Fest, when I host Essence Fest, It's gonna be
Bring it up, man.
all about black female empowerment.
For real.
That's what I'm.
But not just for them, for us. We gotta care more.
Yo, real talk. I might start watching WNBA.
No.
That's
you right.
You gotta draw the line somewhere, okay,
Kevin.
bro?
Kevin, you right.
That's not
Kevin, you right. We not gonna go that far. I'll go help those girls in Africa before I start watching WNBA. Here's a hypothetical. Would you rather go to the Sudan or wherever the fuck they kidnap those girls?
Sudan.
Well,
I don't know.
whatever, and then
Of course,
risk
that's the
your
problem.
life
We don't
saving
fucking
those
know
girls.
We know what the fuck they are. It's like shit.
Point proven.
Bro,
We had a week-long documentary on R. Kelly fucking black women up.
and nobody.
R.
Kelly's out
still
right
free,
now.
bro.
He just promoted an event. He's gonna be in
Dog,
Indianapolis at
they
a
had
club.
they put all the white women that Bill Cosby touched on the fucking magazine cover, and they locked his ass up in quick, fast, and in a fucking hurry.
Yup.
The one time they didn't get OJ the first time, they made sure they locked his ass up the fucking second
Trumped
time.
up charges.
Like, nah, fuck that shit. You're right.
That's crazy.
You're right. It's facts.
It's a Patrice bit too. There's a Patrice
What'd he
bit
say?
of you can tell how pretty a white woman is by how long they would look for her if she went missing. I think.
Oh, I love that.
And then he said like, if a black person went missing in the ocean, they would just stick their toe in and be like, this kind of peering out. Like, it's not. It's over.
That's all act out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he does, my favorite Patrice act out. He gets there and he just pulls his pants up slightly.
Yeah.
So that he could take a walk into the water
Yes,
without them
you're
getting
right.
wet. Damn, bro. All right, so Flagrant 2, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna care about black women on this podcast?
Listen,
because that's what we.
If
that's
you can
what,
get us 10 minutes at Essence Fest, I know you got a lot of power over there. I would love to make a speech, donation maybe. You know what I mean? Just see what you could do.
You know what? Hey, black women that listen to podcasts, I know we got a lot of y'all. We got your back. You know what I mean? We're not gonna let these other motherfuckers forget about you. We got your back.
100%,
Okay?
dog.
Real talk. If any of y'all go missing in the tri-state area, we're not gonna go all the way to Africa, but if any of you go missing in the tri-state area, we coming for you.
I'll go to
like the Avengers. We're gonna mount up here. And go
Son, let's go.
I'll go anywhere in the Northeast. Motherfucking Boston.
Why you gotta outdo me, son? I was trying to put a fucking limit on how far we gonna go.
I'm saying we could at least give them the Northeast. I'm not going to
You going
Georgia.
like Maine? You're gonna go like Maine's in Canada, bro.
Ain't no black people in Maine.
Because we're in the
That's where they gotta take
Amtrak. People in the Amtrak to get these bitches.
Any reasonable Amtrak trip. I got
The
you.
Excel. I'm doing the Excel. All right, I'm doing the local. I'm not doing the regional. All right, bro. That shit takes forever. That shit is like it's like a subway car, but it goes across states. It
We gotta
stops
stop in
1,000 times.
Syracuse?
Yeah.
Come on. Can't stop in Syracuse.
There's no black people here. Keep going.
Oh my god. Damn.
Yo, we fighting for you, man. We fighting for you black women, bro.
Save our queens.
We gotta save our queens. You know, because real talk, no, for real.
It's a good hashtag.
This is the asshole
It's a good
army.
hashtag.
This is the asshole army, and all our assholes really are black if you look at them, man.
What?
It's true, man. The assholes are dark, bro. You ever look at an asshole?
It's not a lot of white assholes out there.
They have to bleach them.
Pink.
They bleach them pink, those porn stars. So
God bless him.
God bless him.
there's one color of asshole out here, and we support you.
Get over there,
That was
Alex.
a segment.
Get over there.
Alex, how are you acting like you would save a black woman? You won't even bring one to your house, bro.
That's how I save them.
Yo, you want to know why he does that? Because he knows that he could potentially be in a Kevin hypothetical.
You don't want to.
And he would never put a black woman through that. He would never.
Oh, I got you. Took a second. Oh, it took a
Oh
little,
my God, guys,
little
what a
trip to Baskin
fucking.
Robbins. All right.
I started believing in reincarnation this week.
Yeah. This is beautiful.
I got a good theory about it, and this is a theory that Indians have known for 5,000 years, and we'll get to our conversation about it in a second, but I'm going to run it by you, Kevin. You tell me if I'm onto something. Okay. So, I saw this picture in there of this like old Montreal Habs hockey player that looks exactly like me. It's like uncanny how similar this guy looks to me, right? And it got me thinking about like past lives. Now, I don't think that was me or anything like that. But it got me thinking about the idea of past lives, right? And then I started thinking about like, why is it that, you know, some people just understand life and humanity better than other people? I don't think it's an IQ thing. I really think it's an experience thing. Not an experience that you have in this life, but experience that you've had of many lives.
You carry a little bit of that over every time.
Yeah, exactly. You don't remember exactly, but you
it's just
remember.
like in your blood, sort of.
It is. It's very similar to like a dog knows not to touch fire. It's just instinct, right? So I think you keep on carrying instinct, and I mean, there's a reason why, like, for whatever reason, I just have this understanding of life and people, and it gives me a competitive advantage in the world, in what I do in work, but just engaging in people. There's just something I understand about humans. And sometimes I'll try to explain it to people, and they don't get it. And at first, it used to frustrate me. I used to think, like, oh, am I not good at explaining? But now I start to realize, no, some people haven't lived enough.
Yeah, you can't explain it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people just get it, right? And I look at a guy like Duval, and I'm like, this guy gets it at the highest level. It's like, holy shit. And I start thinking, when we die, something happens to our energy, but we don't know. We just don't know what happens to our energy, right? It goes somewhere. Energy cannot be lost or created or destroyed.
Yeah.
It goes somewhere. We don't know where it goes. And I truly am starting to believe that you could have a new suit. You can have a new body, a new life, and you could continue doing this. And you basically continue to do it until you figure out the game that is life. And if there's this higher, life form out here that's playing a game with us, right? And they're just waiting for us to figure it out, get closer to the center of the maze or whatever it is. And then once you figure it out, you get to move on, or maybe the game is over. Maybe you finished it, right? And I started talking to Akaash. I was like, yo, maybe this is what, Hindu people meant by reincarnation. It was their way of explaining it. Like, they know for thousands of years, like, why is this guy so wise? Why does he understand us? Why you ever sit down with somebody, and they don't even have to be old, but you just feel like they get it. And it's not because they read all these books or anything like that. Like, Duval has had no formal education, understands life way better than these Harvard grads that I'll sit with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, maybe you carry that on. Maybe that continues to happen, and maybe that was their idea of reincarnation and then reaching nirvana. Yeah. The exact idea is you keep on dying and keep on reliving until you, I guess, truly learn how to live it the most. Right. And then you reach that level of nirvana, which is, I guess, your version of
So you've reached all
heaven.
that by deciding you were like a hockey player in your past.
Some fucking dude playing hockey looked a little bit like you.
Yeah, and I played hocky a little bit.
So then I started thinking about this. I mean, it's uncanny.
Make that face right now. Do that.
It is really fucking crazy.
Pretty good.
So I started thinking about, and
Same
this is
fucking ears and everything.
everything, bro. It's scary. And I used to have that haircut. So I started thinking about this. I go, how would I?
So that's just tethered.
Yeah. How would I warn my future self of this, so that I could? You can't pass a direct message, but maybe you could get me thinking about it. Maybe you
Interstellar
could,
shit.
right? Exactly. Just
Drop
like the
a
movie.
hint. Yeah.
Drop a hint. Like, at least get my mind rolling.
Fucking Canadian hockey player. That's how. That was a hint from the future. Future self.
From the
Could
past.
be like 1,000 future selves.
Oh shit.
Oh, a million. We don't know. We don't know how long this other life form that's just watching us play this game. I mean, when you look at video games, right? How does a video game operate? You play the game, you die, you get reincarnated, you run it back. You're a little bit better every single time. We see it in front of us all the time.
A couple people got the cheat code. They're like the Steve Jobs of the world, Leonardo da Vinci's of the world, unlocking shit.
What is Game Genie? Remember Game Genie for Nintendo? It's like, okay, here are all the tricks to life. Okay, you got it. Everything's figured out.
Yeah, that's actually
Making a lot of sense.
that's exactly Hindu belief. What he called me and explained, and I was like, I know I do the thing where I'm like, yeah, we've been knowing this, but that was actually, and it was cool that he just kind of stumbled on that on his own, and it's also like weirdly reaffirming for my beliefs as a Hindu that somebody just organically stumbled onto this.
Right.
And like it,
They were onto something when they came up.
yeah,
with this
and
idea.
it could be thousands of lifetimes. It is until you get it right, and from what I've read, getting it right is realizing that all this doesn't matter. There is just the soul, God, and that's it.
From
and
nothing
everything
comes
else,
everything, man.
they say all this is a mirage. All this like money and all this shit that we think matters
that shit's
doesn't
all
matter.
made up, yeah.
And then when you have that, it's called moksha. It's like I'm free. I'm freedom, liberation. And that's when you've either you go to heaven or your soul is just free and you're good. But that's my understanding is that's when reincarnation is done. So it was cool to hear him say that and just have this exact same belief on his own.
It's just, I think it's so interesting. And I look a lot of times at religion as like people's best way of explaining the world to people who haven't, let's say, lived all the lives yet.
And that is
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you think just like ignorant ass people just haven't been reincarnated enough.
Yeah,
yet.
they're new.
Yeah.
They're just younger souls. That's how it's explained to me.
And then like,
And
go.
I feel like even being able to laugh about all this shit is kind of a sign that you've gone through a lot of life.
Fuck it,
Right? Like the people who are getting upset, the people who are outraged, don't have any understanding.
They're
yet.
not
When you have
mature enough to know, like...
When you have enough understanding, like you said, this doesn't matter. This isn't that big of a deal. Let's laugh about it a little bit.
Like, we're looking at ourselves as, I'm 35. I don't know how old you are.
34.
34, right? So it's like you're 35.
35 in like a month.
35 in a month?
32.
32, right? So it's like we're judging ourselves by our age within this life.
Yeah.
And if there is a higher life form, they're looking down at us like, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's a blip on a blip on a blip of the radar. Yeah.
Right? It's like going, I'm 2.7 years old.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so tiny. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, we have this, 100 lives or 1,000 lives, and we spend all this energy and we're exhausted trying to explain things to people who truly can't understand them yet. It's like trying to explain science to a baby, literally, right? It's like the baby just
Your brain
doesn't.
just not going to get it, yeah.
But the baby can, in the same way that I might look up to Duval or someone might look up to me, that they recognize that that people have an understanding of life and a direction, and they're like, I can get things and get closer to that understanding within this time. And it was a really cool moment. Like, just imagine it's true and you get to run this shit back. Like, how fucking dope
hopeful.
is that?
Yeah.
Like, instead of just going, oh, it's over, I have to get everything done.
Right.
It's more like, let me figure out this life thing on the way and have some joy, and then I'm going to run it back, and maybe I won't remember everything from it, but I'm going to keep
something. Or you're probably just dead in the dirt.
Well, there's also...
There's also that possibility.
and you will. Your body will be dead in the dirt.
Yeah.
But I keep looking at like movies. Like if you look at themes of all the movies that are coming
What
out
if it
right
just
now.
feels like your eyes are just closed all the time? Like, wouldn't that be like the suckiest, like afterlife?
Like,
Oh,
you
you're
still-
conscious, but you
yeah.
just can't
You're
see
still there, and
shit.
It's just like
That's the
everything's
shit that
fucking.
bugs me out.
That's
Maybe
the
you're
one
just
thing
trapped
I'm
in
just
the
like, yo,
box,
that's the only thing. Like, I don't care if like what you believe in, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, as long as it's just not just fucking perpetual darkness for like the rest of time.
That you're
Yeah.
conscious of, that's
Oh,
actual
fuck
torture.
That's torture.
Hell yeah.
But what if even that, right, is how awful that sounds to us right now?
What if that's the best feeling in the world? We don't know it.
Yeah. What if
like you tap into like some extra shit once once everything's fucking closed off
Yeah.
forever, and like now you're in.
you ever go underwater, right?
Yeah.
You're swimming, you go underwater, right? And then underwater, that shit is peaceful, man. Everything's quiet. You're just there with you and your thoughts for that like brief amount of time that you're holding your breath. But if that is the rest of existence, you're just kind of like floating in. You're floating in it, and you get to create these elaborate, worlds in your own brain.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a dream. You just find a way to dream. Like, have you ever gotten daydreaming like about like a fight you wish you had? Like, I should have punched that guy in the face.
Always.
Imagine you get to
Exclusively.
do that all
I
day.
do that shit.
Exclusively.
I do that shit in the shower all the
All the
time.
time, man.
Like,
I have
always
never
think of,
lost a
like,
fight in the shower. I have undefeated in the shower,
all the
bro.
time. yo.
Every argument, every
All
fist
the
fight, all of
time.
it.
A lot of guys in jail, they wish they had your same record.
I hope, man. I hope that's how it goes, dude.
Wouldn't it be cool?
It's also interesting to think about. This isn't a Hindu belief as far as I know, but a Hindu guy was talking to me. He was very spiritual, and he was like, the souls, the people you're close to in this lifetime, your souls in past lifetimes have usually decided there's something. Like, my brother and I have a complicated relationship. He's like, you're in past lives, you guys are like, we need to work this out. So make us brothers in this lifetime, and then let's figure this out. And then you're drawn to certain friends even. Like,
Without
on
doubt,
some
for a
soul
reason,
level,
yeah.
we're all drawn to each other. And like, true or not, it's fun to think about and like just kind of ruminate on
Dude,
for a while.
absolutely. I think there's a reason why we all can. Even you, when we were texting, it was like, I feel like you really understood it.
Yeah,
and
me too. It's like he just gets it. Like,
Exactly.
we're on the same wavelength.
What
type
is
of thing.
it?
Yeah. Like, why? There's something there.
What is
Yeah.
it? Like,
Yeah, right.
why have all these people, entered our lives, and why do they end up staying in our lives and some don't? It's like, what is that it thing? Who knows what that is? Maybe that it thing is like, you're about 3,000, I'm about 3,000,
Right.
and it's like, don't you want to hang out with people around 3,000? I can't
Yeah.
hang out with these kids that are only 500.
Right.
Right? It's a crazy way to think about it.
Yeah.
I will say this: the world should not operate like this.
No,
It's
we
a
gotta
bad-
act as if this is it.
We have to
because-
act as if this is it
Yeah.
because
He's murdering people. He's a young guy.
Yeah,
That's what
no
you
big
do in your
deal.
200s.
Right.
That's what you do. You kill people, and you realize
He'll
it's not
get it
worth
right on
it.
the
What
next
if he came
go-round.
back like with like that BC mentality? He's like, what? We can't kill people now? Like, we used to do that shit all the time. What the fuck are you talking
I
about?
threw stones at a lot of people to kill him. That was fun.
all these
Jesus, we
pedophiles are
dragged
like,
that
listen,
motherfucker."
this is their 100th life. You know what I mean? So what if he's 11?
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, something to ruminate on, something to think on. maybe it offers some clarity for your day. I know
So
that.
how stoned were you when you came up with all that
Dude,
shit?
I don't even smoke, man. It
He's
was
in
just,
a very spiritual place now
Yeah,
that he's
apparently.
really successful.
Yeah, I'll do it.
yo,
Once you stop needing to worry about other shit,
It's
you
very
start to think
true.
bigger-
I'm saying
bigger
that as a
picture.
joke, but that is
Yeah.
also, you don't have
Yeah.
that stress. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think for you, I think it's kind of fed into each other. Like as you've gotten more successful, you've gotten more kind of spiritual, and then
And that makes you more
that
successful,
makes you
and
more
that makes you
successful because you're
Yeah.
more at peace with everything. And it's a
Bullshit
dope
coming
thing
up
to
for this
watch.
guy.
real talk. It's like, it's the only way to explain it. You ever find that, like, when you're like, why is this working? Why do I understand how to do this? Why do I know what to do? Why do I know how to succeed in this? And sometimes you got to be like, oh, sometimes you have your reason to do it, or you're built to do it, or you're built to lead. I think success forces you to be either a tyrant and an evil person, or someone who starts to understand that things are way bigger.
Then,
Well,
yeah,
Duval
bigger
said
self.
something on the podcast he did with you of just like, you gotta have a bunch of shit to know that none of it means anything. Like you gotta have a bunch of success to know that none of it means anything. You
yeah.
gotta have a bunch of something.
You got to have
Isn't
money
that
to
funny
know
that you
it's not
chase
worth
it for so
Yeah.
long and then you get it and you're like,
This
this
wasn't
doesn't
it.
matter. Yeah.
But you need to get there.
Right.
Right? And
Right.
it's like, not
I'd
everybody
rather
has
get there
it.
first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get
you
there
have
first.
to.
that
And
problem.
you have
Let me
to.
figure that
And
out.
I don't knock people that are trying to get there, because I know there's no way that they could wrap their head around it without experiencing
Yeah,
it.
like
And
if I
it's
can tell you 2
once
plus
they-
2 is 4.
Yeah.
Like, all right, 2 plus 2 is 4, but I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm like, all right, like I gotta show you. You gotta have it. You gotta like be able to touch it and see exactly what it is before you kind of fully understand it and know.
100%.
Oh, okay, that's what that is.
Yes.
Like if you're just telling me that shit, I'll be like, okay, I can believe you, but like I'd much rather figure out on my own.
You want to see it.
Well,
Yeah.
To your earlier point, what I was going to say, there's some people who are success and they're kind of like tyrannical, whatever. To your earlier point, those might just be younger souls who try the tyrant shit. They try dominating everything, and then they're just like, at the end of that life, they're like, what the fuck was this worth? And then in the next life, they're like, oh, I don't need to do that anymore.
So those people often, like, they ask them when they're older and they're alone, like what they've learned.
right.
And I mean, you see movies about this, all that kind of stuff. All these movies about, these old people. What is it? Not Scrooge?
Scrooge is
Groundhog?
Ghost of Girlfriend's Past. Oh, Groundhog Day, maybe.
Is that Groundhog? No, what's the guy for the Christmas one?
Christmas Scrooge.
Scrooge,
Yeah.
Scrooge,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or like the Grinch, right? There are these people
Oh,
that
yeah.
just have everything, but they're isolated to themselves, and they learn that there's misery.
Mr. Burns.
And and then what do they end up learning, right? They end up learning the movie is really about how what is most important is the connection you have with people,
yeah.
right? And so a lot of times these tyrants, they go this whole life, and then they realize at the end of it, none of the things that they have mattered, and the thing that they could have had the whole time isn't there.
Right.
And then they take that to the next life, and then who knows who they become, Bernie Sanders or some shit. They just
Right.
want to give everything to everybody, which might be the extreme. But I guess the point is, like, sometimes people write these movies and TV shows without even realize what they're putting out there.
Right.
Right.
It's like Truman Show. Like, you go and watch the Truman Show right now,
Truman
bro.
Show fucked me
like,
up.
yeah, it really did fuck me up for a while. Like watching
But
it
what
now.
if, you know?
Like, well, I remember watching it as a child. Oh man, this would be so crazy. And then like we watch it now with like all the fucking knowledge you have of like how shit is fucking everything everywhere is recorded. There's nowhere you can go where somebody can't fucking find you on a camera or some shit like that. And you're just like,
It's kind of narcissistic to think, like, what if that was me? Like, why would I be important enough to be the center of a fucking show like that? But I'm constantly, like,
you
Bro.
are. It is you.
every time I jerk off, every time I do
That'll
see that?
ruin your
is.
whole
See
that?
life.
But
Every time I'm
the thing,
listening to
though.
like a
It-
guilty
it
pleasure
is
song
you.
and singing along. Nah, never mind, man. Put on fucking Regulate. I'm cool, I swear.
There's no bullshit. This is when I was, I think, like maybe 5 years old, 6 years old or something like that. Maybe 7 years old. I thought I was in the Truman Show.
That's happened to a alarming number of people that I know.
So like, but really young, right? So
That's like
when
a
I
psych.
was really
That's early to be thinking that shit, though.
Yeah. So
5 years old.
That's the thing. I think it's a normal thought to like come to eventually, but I was really young, and that I started thinking
before
about
the movie.
Yeah, before
Sorry.
the movie. I never saw the
Okay.
movie.
Okay, that's
right?
crazy.
This is me just going. At a very young age, I was just acknowledging like human existence and like why people would do certain things. Like
Oh, you
why
better be reincarnated if you're thinking that shit.
That's what I'm
fucking
saying.
weird.
Like, I'm not bullshitting when I say it to you. I'm trying to explain why I would understand it at that age. I remember like people would wave at me when I was leaving the bus. Right, we were leaving a bus after going to some sports thing, and they drop you off at your crib, and they would all wave, "See you later," and I'd be like, "Why do they feel inclined to do that? What, I mean, they don't have to do that. They could just say goodbye." And I'm just kind of like analyzing weird shit and eating like the fucking fruit roll up
Yeah.
off of my thumb, right? And like it was
Yeah.
weird, like kid and adult shit. But it was one of those things where I think if it's true, if this reincarnation shit is true, it's like, yeah, something's stuck in you, you know, and you're young, but you're
Think
old.
about it early. Yeah.
I listened to this sports radio station in Dallas I always shout out called The Ticket, and then they had one of the morning show I was listening to. They talked about like this Reddit thread of just people who have stories that seem like their kid is. They'll like speak on something from a past life, and it's like creepy. And I should, if I know we're gonna have this conversation,
You
I'd
ready
bring
for
some in.
the wild shit?
Yeah.
This is the wild shit. There's people listening to us right now have probably felt this. You ever feel like you're more mature than your parents?
All
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
You ready?
Yeah.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Because you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
How fucking wild is that?
Yeah.
You might have had more lives than your parents, and you're trying to explain shit to them just about life or about who they are, how they are, and they can't get it. And we just chalk it up to, oh, parents are stubborn. It's like,
Parents
no,
just don't
they're
understand.
fucking young.
Yeah.
Maybe they're only a couple hundred
It
lives.
is a possibility.
I'm not saying these things are right, but
It's possible.
there are ways that you could explain the world that kind of fit into the formula quite well. And
Yeah.
not one of your parents might be really old, and the other one might be really young. One of your brothers might be really young. One of your brothers might be really old. Right? It's who knows? Who knows? Now you guys got something cool to think about. Ruminate on this on this week. Shall we talk about some deportes?
Okay, word. Mid-roll.
Oh yeah. Before we know, we got to pay some bills. I want to have you guys thinking about this one thing before we pay these bills, though. FA had a good idea. He was talking about I forget what brought it up, but he goes, let's say there was another Malice in the Palace, right? Pick your 5 guys in the league now that you would want to go up against the entire stadium, right? Who are your 5, not to win the basketball game, but who is your Avengers?
Who are we going to? Okay.
Who are you going to war with 18,000 people in attendance?
That's
that
fun.
day? 5
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
Okay, think about
Baby
it.
butter.
I got one. Oh, mid-roll.
Yeah,
Right.
mid-roll. And then we come back to it. I mean, this mid-roll, I don't even need to read because we know exactly what it's here for. It's the chew. It is the chew. I was, matter of fact, in the epilepsy thing we were talking about in Orlando, the guy who was with the girl who was being snotty in the front row, he said, I was like, man, you gotta lose this girl, man. He goes, I'm gonna chew it out, and then it's a wrap. So he already knew what time it is. Okay, good sex, guys. Remember the days when you were always ready to go. I don't, because that was a long time ago for your boy. Okay, I need that chew, especially if it's for the second round. But when I get that chew going, you know it's sturdy. You know it is a force to be reckoned with, and you know the girl is going to write rave reviews. Rave reviews. And again, ladies, you get this for your man as well. This is for you. The chew is for you. It's not for anybody else but you. Ladies, you be supportive of this as well. BlueChew is prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor's visit, no waiting in a pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. BlueChew is made in the USA. And since it ships direct, it's cheaper than a pharmacy. It's FDA-approved ingredients, same as Viagra or Cialis. Exact same thing. You can take them anytime. They actually operate way quicker because you chew them up. Okay? You just go to visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free. Did you hear that? Free. Okay? All you got to do is use our promo code Flagrant. That's it. You pay just $5 in shipping. That's BLUE, chew.com. Promo code Flagrant. You try it for free. BlueChew, the better, cheaper, faster choice. Make your girl feel good. Okay? Make your girl feel real good. Let's get back to the show. Malice in the Palace. 5 guys you got to pick. Kev, go.
I'm leading off. I'm just going sheer size. I'm going my man Boban. Give me that 8-foot fucking
respect
monster, okay?
Like
He
Yeah.
seems like a gentle soul, but
Yeah.
like someone that if it's like time to go, he'll just like start
Yeah.
snapping people.
Like the giant in Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
the-
yeah,
above the
exactly
wall,
like
just
that. Just
walking
walking
He'll just stand up and just start
and
growling.
he'll just go like he just gives one of these like he goes
knocking
whack.
shit over.
He just whacking people and they just go flying.
What is it? What is that move right here?
Clothesline.
A clothesline.
That
A
would
whole
probably
row
end
of
the whole
people.
thing. Like,
Okay, so
all
you
of
go
them gone.
Boban is number
I'm gonna go
one.
Boban. I'm gonna go Scary Terry Rozier, Youngstown, Ohio.
I like that.
Crazy
Ooh.
motherfucker.
Okay. I respect
Youngtown,
that.
huge fight community.
Yes, big time.
Big
Birthplace of
time.
boxing.
Is it the birthplace?
I believe so.
I thought that was in like Greece or something.
Well, maybe as far as
American boxing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
I think they were throwing hands probably all over the place. But
Kelly
I believe,
Pavlik from Youngstown.
there's some guy. We did our Rough and Rowdy in Youngstown. And
Really?
It was like there's people ready to fight.
That's another thing that you guys do. We can talk about that later, but so well promoted, man. But okay, keep going.
So I think I'll go. Especially if I'm thinking Avengers type style, I'm gonna go with Markeith and Marcus Morris. Those Morris twins.
I like your list.
Right?
Good
It's a good list.
And then, so that's 4. So I need one more. John Wall, gang related. You know, I don't know if he can back it up. But I'll roll with that. I feel like. Oh no, I'll do Marcus Smart too. I'll take him. He's a little fucking crazy.
Okay.
He's scrappy.
I'll grab those Boston boys.
I don't know if
pair
he's
him with
about
the
that
Morris
life,
twins
though, man.
and get Boban.
I love
He
Marcus Smart.
He flops too much for me to think he's about that life.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if
think
he's
a
about
little
that
bit.
life. I think he's
Fair.
great in the game. I think it looks like he's about that
Okay.
life, but I don't know if he's
Got
about
it.
that life.
Fair.
Okay, Kaz.
I'm gonna lead off with my man Jimmy Butler.
That's what I had him. I had
He's
him.
number one.
Yeah.
Go in the crowd. I think he'll
had
he'll
him.
That's
fuck
true
some
because
shit
you
up.
know what? Jimmy Butler hates anybody who had a house.
Exactly.
So like, if you had a shelter over your head, he wants to fucking kill you. So he'll kill everybody in the crowd.
Jimmy Butler, man.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
guys
this
can
is
afford
like-
tickets?
Yeah, like he just, I respect just the way he just like doesn't give a fuck about shit.
Yeah,
And,
that's a
like,
good one.
You know, if shit pops off, like I kind of feel like he'll be the first one to hop in the crowd, and you can kind of afford. He's like the third or fourth best player in the team, so he could miss a few games. He's fine.
Right.
Secondly, in the spirit of your Boban pick, I'm gonna go with Giannis. Because Giannis just plays so violently, and like he doesn't like people.
Yeah.
Like he likes fans,
Yeah.
but like other people in the NBA, like he just doesn't like. Like he
Right.
doesn't give a fuck. He's not trying to take no pictures with you. He's not trying to go to fucking like dude's gym in Midtown and work out with you guys. Like no,
Yeah.
he's by himself and he's about his teammates and he's about his fans and he will fuck you up and he seems like he can fight. Thirdly, I do like your Scary Terry pick as well.
a great
Scary
pick.
Terry's
It's a
definitely
great
about
pick.
He is
that
about
life.
that life for sure.
Absolutely. Fourth, I'm gonna go with somebody we kind of like shitted on a couple times, but I actually do think he's about that life if pushed, and that's Russell Westbrook.
I had him too.
I think
Violent,
Russell.
that's
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just like people
Just
who
the
just play
sheer-
so fucking violently,
Yep.
Yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
you know, I know he's about
When he
that
put
life.
up
I know
60
he's
for
about-
Nipsey, I said, this guy about it.
Yeah. Oh
This
yeah.
guy, this
Oh,
guy,
yeah.
this guy ready.
Fuck, and I think my fifth pick,
Fifth one, last one.
Greg Popovich.
fucking general. The fucking,
He will fucking
you roll out this way, flank this way.
You
like,
need
double back around.
strategy.
Yeah,
You need strategy going
Yeah.
up against an entire arena. God damn it. He will have that motherfuckers. He will have motherfuckers fucking divide and conquer.
He's Cap.
He's the Cap. Exactly.
He's
He
Cap.
will gun up there and fucking
Smart.
hit an alien. It's like, why the fuck
He
should I listen
Professor
to
X.
you?
He is, bro.
That's
He
X,
is.
Either way.
dog.
So Pop
Okay,
is my
that's
fifth
sharp.
pick.
I like that 5. Okay, I'm going number 1. My first pick was Russell Westbrook, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It is just sheer violence, power, aggression. He'd be hopping up over those,
Intensity means a lot to me.
Yeah, it's just, especially in that environment. It's just,
Oh yeah.
it's Game of
When
Thrones.
it's kill or be killed.
Yes.
Russell
He's
Westbrook.
gonna
and-
kill.
and
Boom,
then
boom,
he'll
boom,
kill.
boom,
You
boom.
want killers. Yeah.
Agility. You know what I mean? Definitely him. Boogie. Just
Okay.
raw anger, like the
And
Hulk.
size too. I mean,
Size and anger, and I just feel like he punches heavy.
Yeah,
like I
he's very-
really think he
he's-
dents
He's
you up.
He's very
yeah.
lumbering.
Yes.
You know? So I
Yes.
feel like a couple of one of those hits will just knock out.
Okay, so it's Russ, Boogie. I also had Giannis,
Okay.
but I want to take him away just because you had Giannis. Okay, it was Russ, Boogie. Oh my God, what happened to my fucking?
I'll give you one. 'Cause
Okay,
I
go.
had one. Zebo. Zebo.
Wow,
Zach
that's a good
Randolph.
one.
I can't. I'll tell you why I
Zach
can't.
Randolph, he punked Boogie a couple times.
Here's why I can't.
What's up?
One-on-one fight in the street over an argument. Zebo.
Uh-huh.
Arena melee.
mass chaos.
Mask too slow.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
too slow.
Okay.
Plotting. You know what I mean? Like a one-on-one elbows up fight. Yes.
Got you.
But I think I need athleticism in this, I think. So I'll take Giannis.
Gotta be nimble.
Nimble.
Yeah.
Let's move around. Move and shake, okay? So we got one. Where are we at? We had Russell. We have Boogie. We have Giannis. You know who else I take? Trey Young.
Wow.
Trey Young has such a chip on his fucking shoulder. I feel like he's going to be like Ant-Man,
You know
just
what?
running underneath people, jumping behind them, snapping heads.
The worst thing that can happen for that guy is if he somehow sneaks in and does win Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Like I would if I was
Great
his
call.
GM or his coach, I want them rigging that shit against him because I want that chip
He needs that chip in
forever.
his
Oh,
shoulder.
yeah, you're right.
You know, like
absolutely.
it's just let what's his face let
Luka.
Doncic
I thought it'd be
have it,
better for
let
Luka to
Doncic
not
have
win
it.
it.
Yes, because then you get
I think Rookie of the Year doesn't. I mean, I guess Melo lost it to LeBron, and I thought
Yeah.
it might do the same for him, but it did not, obviously.
So
So
with him specifically, he's
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
chip.
he got that Eminem thing. He needs
Yes.
he needs the chip on his shoulder.
He
Bernard
needs a chip.
Hopkins, who you always bring up.
Okay, number 4. Just hear me out. Steph, hear me out.
Oh my God.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. He's my Hawkeye. I'm putting him up in the bleachers, and I'm just getting blunt objects and having him throw it. Exactly. That's it. You put him
Sniper.
up high.
Yeah.
He's my sniper. You put him up high. You put him up high.
like
He's
that.
calm, casual, doesn't have to engage in anybody. Do some like, hey, we're all Christians here.
Very heartless. You
The
need
second
that,
he's
yeah.
up there, done. Game over. I'm just taking people out. Okay. Now I have one more. I have one more guy.
I feel like you named
and-
more
and-
than 4.
I need more than 4. Yeah, but no, I named 4. I think that was 4.
Well, he took one away because you had named it.
Oh, so you didn't use Zebo?
I'm not
Gotcha.
using
Okay,
Zebo.
yeah, yeah.
Can't use Zebo.
Anybody going Draymond?
No,
No.
I think he's soft.
Nobody going Draymond.
Okay, my number 5.
You're, I'm gonna say your Avengers lack a lot of size. That's how they honest.
They lack size. I
You
know.
need to get somebody that could. You need a home run hitter. You need a cleanup man.
Okay. Okay, fine. Tyson Chandler.
Okay, I can
Just-
see that.
No one's even picked LeBron, but I don't even think LeBron's gonna
No,
do anything.
0 chance I'm picking LeBron.
No.
I think
LeBron,
Tyson.
LeBron will go up there and he'll fucking host a fucking a dinner party with everybody. Be like, yo guys, man, let's just go.
Yeah.
It's wasted talent and body. And, he's got the body. For
Tyson
it.
Chandler, soft, but I want him to be like a crusader. Like I want him to show up, in the whole priest outfit, get really all about
Yeah.
it, do a prayer, and then just start lighting people the fuck up. Just light them the fuck.
Yeah,
That's
Tyson will go.
7'1".
Tyson will
He's
go.
about that life.
Tyson will
Full
go.
beard, like one of those old medieval helmets. I
Yeah.
want him to show up
I'm
with.
surprised they go James Johnson from the Heat.
Oh,
good call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
black
knew
belt.
Get some of those grizzled vets who've just been around,
Yeah.
have some knowledge, some
Yeah.
reincarnated knowledge in the league.
MMA fights too.
Was he a black belt or some shit?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
motherfucker is
Legit
real.
black belt,
Yeah, that's the number one
That-
pick in this entire thing,
that
probably.
size with a black belt?
Yeah.
Dude, it's nuts.
He's
Holy
a
shit.
heavy hitting motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like, in the hood, there's always one black karate family, and he's the
That-
son of that. Like his dad was like a real,
Got
I
it.
don't know if it was kickboxing or maybe it was like a traditional martial art, but he was like a badass. And then James learned it his whole life growing up. Yeah, I thought that was a good.
What about Steven Adams?
That's who I had.
Oh,
Ooh,
So my
that's a good
five,
pick. That's a
my
good
initial
pick.
5 was Jimmy Butler, Steven Adams, Russ, Bradley Beal, just because I saw he didn't give a fuck about going up against Draymond. Like he went at Draymond, which I liked, and then was just smiling afterward, like "What's up?" And then I said, "You need a dirty guy," so I went Zaza. Zaza going to be taking out ACLs. He can be punching the nuts. Zaza don't give a fuck. And then I also thought of David West.
Okay, I like
Yes.
David West. I like David
Not to be
West,
trifled
yeah.
with.
Yeah,
not to
he's
be
a boxer.
but old.
Old, but boxer. Again, I think fights dirty, don't care. Just let's go.
No, in a weird way.
I also, 2 of the people I was going to pick already got picked by you guys, so I tried to find new people. I heard DeMar DeRozan can go. We both heard Vince Staples
heard
talking
DeMar
about that.
DeRozan could go.
But I just don't trust his killer instinct
Too
enough.
soft.
Strange way. I might sub out Pop just in case we don't need strategy or whatever.
Right.
I'd want Melo. I'd pick Melo.
You
I'd
could
pick
keep
Melo.
him.
You know why? You know
You're-
why I'd pick Melo?
Because he's never won
People
anything.
like you. Like you can tell
one day he's just
how
snap.
bad he's
Oh, he's gonna have a personal.
He's
Don't
gonna
you remember
fucking
he fought someone and ran the fuck away. Remember he was like
When he
was,
popped
backtracking,
what was
but,
it,
throwing punches as he was backpedaling.
Fam, he
Marty
didn't
Collins or some shit like that.
He didn't
It was-
fight KG for saying some shit about his wife, Cheerios.
Smell like how tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. or
Cheerios,
some shit.
and KG notoriously not down to fight.
Right.
It's true.
He went to the bus.
I forgot who he punched. This is when he was a Nugget.
Yeah,
He
with the
punched
J.R.
somebody in the neck. Was he the Jared? No, it wasn't Jared
That's when
Smith.
they
'cause
weren't.
were teammates.
I thought J.R. Smith was involved in it though. Well, I guess so if he was on the same.
I
team
think
at
it was
the same
like Marty Collins or
Makes
some
sense.
shit. Like somebody that was on the Knicks that wasn't really like. No, Jared Jeffries.
time. Was it
I
Jared?
think it was Jared Jeffries. I think it was Jared Jeffries. I'm almost positive it was
man.
Jared
What
Jeffries.
about Rondo?
You don't have the size, but he's
like agility.
He's
like,
scrappy.
He's scrappy.
Yep.
He's scrappy. He'll fight dirty. He'll cut
feel like
your
he'll end
Achilles.
up, like, fighting
I
your
think
what's crazy?
Rondo can like sit on Boban's shoulder and be like a little fucking Groot and whatever.
He'll
you know what I
ride
mean?
Boban.
Yeah, exactly. Like release the Rondo and fucking Boban's throwing him at people and shit. You know.
Shooting shit.
Here's what's crazy. You take the 5 best that we named,
Yeah.
and you put them up against the 5 best from Detroit, Indiana. I'd take the 5 best from Detroit, Indiana.
Oh, for
Ron
sure.
Artest,
Man.
Steven Jackson, Ben Wallace off rip. It's like
Yeah.
which
Jermaine
is-
O'Neal.
Jermaine
Jermaine
O'Neal was
O'Neal collected
his
on that one
sliding
punch.
punch?
He, like if he didn't
That
slip
dude's
and he hit
jaw
that
would've
guy,
been in fucking-
it would have been a murder. It would have been a murder. Like he would be in jail right now because he murdered.
Even
that
with
guy.
the slip, the dude was out cold.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Like, caught him with
night-nighted
the
him?
knee.
He was fucking.
He didn't night-night
cocked
him, but
back
he-
and he like
I
slipped
guess something
on
like
some
some
water or
Gatorade
whatever.
or some
yeah.
shit.
Still
The
got
only
him.
thing that saved that guy's life is that he
Oh
was a
my
little off
God.
balance.
Was the guy ready for the punch, or it was?
Well, yeah,
completely
because that was the
blind?
crazy dudes who were squaring up on those guys. They were like, "Yeah, let's do this." Like
That
you
was
are
some
a
of the
regular
best
ass
footage
person
I've ever seen in
ever.
my life, dog.
Ever.
Like-
That shit is. I mean, it's cliche to be like if the internet and Twitter and all that shit was around when Malice happened, but I mean, it really is true. Like
We
the
need
world
to
would go
interview those
insane.
guys.
Yeah.
Get squared up.
Yes,
'Cause
I
those are
looked
some
them up. I
brave-
tried to find them because I'm doing like a little podcast documentary thing on Malice at the Palace.
Okay.
And their names are out there and everything. They like a couple of them got sentenced to this, that, like community service, whatever. And like I was tweeting, like if anybody knows them, like let me get in contact with them. They did a little bit of press early on. There was like a couple interviews with them, but. I mean, those guys, I might take them. If you're crazy enough to square up with these guys, fuck that. Let's go again.
Bro,
Those guys are nuts.
5'9" squaring
That's how
up
you knew
against
Detroit was
Ben
finna go
Wallace.
broke. These motherfuckers got no idea what they're doing.
Jeez, man, what
Oh,
intense.
yes.
What's the documentary? Can you talk about it or
Yeah,
no?
I mean, I do. I've only done a few of them. They're kind of time consuming with everything else I got going. But I call it storyboards. Like we storyboard out a story of anything in sports related that kind of transcends, just your average sports story. And then like I did one on Chappelle, just like kind of the rise and fall, not fall, but disappearance and return of him. Did one on James Dolan and just how fucked the Knicks are. That was like when the Free Oakley thing happened. I just like quickly banged one out there. I did one on A-Rod about how he's just an enigma, A-Rod.
Yeah.
So they're like long form. I edit in audio clips and interview clips.
Where can we watch them? Where can we listen?
They're on iTunes. The feed is just called Storyboards, Barstool Storyboards.
That sounds
So
dope.
there's probably like 5 or 6.
I want to see a Chappelle one for sure.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's just all my kind of take on these guys, and it's something like every time I do it. Oh, I did one on Dennis Rodman most recently because I think Dennis Rodman is just the most fascinating. We all know he's crazy, but he's really fucking crazy.
Why?
I just feel like he was like so ahead of his time with. People were like, oh, he had dyed hair and piercings and a celebrity girlfriend. That's like every fucking guy in the league right now. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like, think about like you got a crazy beard and a crazy girlfriend.
Tattoos
like,
everywhere,
So
yeah.
what?
Yeah,
You
he
know
was
what I
just
mean?
born 20 years too early.
Exactly. And then, I mean, I still think people don't like he was basically like some sort of ambassador to North Korea. What?
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
he went from like the 72-10 Bulls to fucking sitting next to Kim Jong Un is just like everyone's like, wow, that's crazy. And it's like, no, wait, we gotta talk about this. This is fucking crazy. How the fuck did
That's
this
insane.
happen? And the fact, did you know he had a 13-inch growth spurt when he was like 21?
No shit.
Yeah, he was like not
What?
of size to play in the NBA. He was cleaning toilets in a airport in wherever he like grew up.
Dallas.
And
He's from
in
Dallas.
and in like
Oak Cliff, I think.
he went from like I think from 21 to 22 or 20 to 21, he grew 13 inches.
What? And then he
it was
starts
like
playing for a JUCO, right?
Yeah,
Or
and
something
then
like
that was all because he got like befriended by this kid whose brother had killed himself by accident,
Right.
and they became best friends because they were loners. That
the
family
family
took
took him
care
in,
of him,
yeah.
and it was all because there was like a crazy accident with a shotgun that this one kid needed a friend, and Dennis was his friend. Like the things that needed to fall in place for this dude who was like 5'9" at the age of 21 to then become a NBA Hall of Famer, 5-time champion. It's crazy.
Best defender ever?
Arguable.
Arguably, yeah.
Definitely.
Best rebounder. Best like pure rebounder. You know what I mean? For
Definitely one
his
of the best
size.
What is your
Yeah, like,
take?
pound for
What
pound.
do you? I mean, you don't have to give it away. Wait, it's already out.
Yeah, it's out.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what is your take after kind of digesting all of it?
Well, what's funny is then after we put it out, Rodman came through like a couple months later, and he did the podcast, and he is like he lived up to all the hype.
Yeah,
and then some.
yeah,
he
I've
is
heard
like
that.
the real deal, crazy. But I mean, even just like the salacious shit, like he was fucking his fans' wives. Like fans would come up to him like, "Would you please fuck my wife?" And like he was like, "Yeah, I would go upstairs." That's the last person in the world you want to fuck your wife.
Real
Dennis
life
Rodman.
cucks.
Yeah, they wanted it though. And then like
They used to do that to Lil B. The bass guy,
Yeah?
like bass guy, fuck my bitch. Like they would like fucking in concerts, they would like put their girlfriends like in their hands and like put them on stage like, bass guy, please fuck my bitch, bass guy. Like,
Who are these people?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
white people.
And then he gets yeah.
Well, am I right? Like,
That's some white people shit, no doubt.
Yeah.
Not me, but yep, I get it. I mean, then he gets mixed up with Trump and reality TV, and then that all comes to be with the president. Like, it's just the story to me is absolutely wild.
And you
So
think
that was
he's
the
like
most recent one.
clinically insane? What type of crazy are we talking about here? Is he aware of his actions? Is he aware of the
I think
results?
so. I think he's pretty self-aware. I think he's got some like substance abuse issues, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
like craziness because he seems pretty
Cocaine?
like I don't know what. I just feel like he partied pretty hard and like got some miles on wear and tear on the brain or whatever. I mean, when he was doing Answer the Internet, he basically told us that his aunt blew him once.
What?
Oh shit.
Yeah. Like we were asking the question. I think
she
it was
hot?
the grandma question. And I remember being like, "Oh boy, this is probably gonna go like super viral in like a bad way. Like
Right.
we're almost like making fun of him or whatever." And like nobody quite picked it up, but he was just like, "Yeah, one time my aunt was just like," and he kind of mumbles and she's like, "He was just sucking on that dick," and I was like, "Okay." So he is an interesting cat for better or worse in a weird way that I feel like people don't even. You know, I think when you're like A-Rod, when he was so clean cut, and then when he has like one transgression, it's like holy shit. Even though it's not maybe steroids, whatever. When you are constantly crazy and constantly fucking
You
up,
get
it
numb to it.
becomes white noise, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh yeah, Rodman's overseas in North Korea with a fucking Avengers team that he put together to be an ambassador of basketball to a fucking tyrannical world criminal. Oh yeah, whatever. That's just the worm being the worm. It's like, no. We got to talk about this, man. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I went front to back on him. So that was the
Is
most
he
recent one.
aware of how absurd his life has been?
I kind of asked him that. Like I was saying, what do you think about like the Twitter era and the social media era? Would that have really been a problem for you? And he was just like, oh no, I would have killed it. Like I would have. Like he
would've leaned in.
He meant more like more fans. I would have fucked more fans'
yeah.
wives. But I think he also on some level like would have understood like I'm gonna grow my brand and
From
I'm gonna
a
be
distance.
a celebrity and like shit like that.
There's like a
you know?
handful of people that I think like, they're always talking about, oh man, these guys don't have to grow up in the social media area.
Right.
Like Dennis Rodman, like Shaq, like
Mm-hmm.
fucking KG, like a lot of these
They'd have
like
killed it.
they would have
From a distance, it feels like
multi-million.
like he's aware of his crazy, but he has such a self-destructive streak
Yes.
that he can't stop it.
Yes, agreed.
So it's just like I know this is crazy, but I'm gonna do it and
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
It's whatever.
Worked
What
for
can you
him
do?
so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, I mean,
so whatever.
I said if you didn't have that growth spurt, like where you'd be. He was like dead for sure, like no doubt in the gutter, dead.
Did he speak at all about his coaches or teammates' effect on him and how they?
Chuck
could
Daly
kinda
was like
keep
his
him-
father, from what I understand. That's
Oh.
and then when Chuck Daly got
Craig
fired,
Sager
apparently that's when
there's a
That's when
story
he
he
flipped,
was
yeah.
he was like gonna kill himself, and Craig Sager like stopped him, and like I think the story I've read on different the details kind of like shift, but it basically centers around Craig Sager and him at a Detroit strip club. Being like, and he was like, "Don't kill yourself," and like that was like his story he told when Craig Sager passed away. So I think Craig Sager, like, I think basketball for sure saved his life. Whether or not it was individual coaches, I think his time in San Antonio like did not work out at all. David Robinson sat him down and was like, "You need to find God," and he was like, "Suck right
Yeah, yeah.
Like, get out of here." But yeah, I think he's a dude who was like born ahead of his time, had some destructive issues, but on the
I think he was also, another thing. He always seemed like he was on the search for like a father figure, which you see with a lot of guys who don't have great father figures.
Even the family that took him in, he kind of has. He doesn't talk about them anymore. Like there's some sort of falling out with that.
He's like dying for a father figure. It seems like,
Well,
and
he,
I think
he seemed to get a couple of them.
Yeah,
and
but
be
then
quite successful with them.
yeah, and then when Chuck got fired, I you know how I learned all this? I watched some shitty ass bootleg ass documentary or not documentary biopic on her, biopic. Whatever you
I think I
say.
know what you're talking about.
And it was just like poorly acted. He narrated it or
Yes.
whatever, but like
I turned that on for like research, thinking it was like a documentary, and I realized it was
Yeah,
like
but
a fictional
the way
actors. I was like, oh
the way
shit.
he tells it, when Chuck got fired, that's when he was like, that's when he became the worm and dyed his hair and piercings and like
Didn't have somebody to keep him on the straight and
he
narrow.
loved hard work, and I remember him saying that about the White family too. Or whoever coached him, he's like, I realized I like hard work. He was a guy who needed discipline and structure from a father figure to say, hey, work your ass off, be this guy.
Yeah.
And David Robinson wasn't that, and that probably didn't help. But like,
not at all.
He needed
judgy,
somebody.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, probably.
Well, he was in the Navy. He was like a fucking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's very,
Very clean cut.
yes sir, no
Yeah.
sir, ma'am, yes ma'am type of dude.
Right,
So,
right,
I can
right.
see that.
So he thrived with the coaches that allowed him to kind of be himself. What I'm fascinated by, and I wonder if you had to talk to him at all about this, but like the time with Jordan, how did they mesh?
They didn't talk.
They didn't talk, but
they
did Jordan
I mean,
recognize his
I
greatness?
think so.
I think that's why he
I
didn't
feel
talk.
like Jordan wouldn't fuck with like.
Jordan seems
I
like
don't
he
think
was
he's gonna have a guy on his team who he's not. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if he knows he is somewhat of a distraction. I don't think Jordan would have dealt with anything that wasn't worth the squeeze. You know?
and
When
he'll
you
be a
say
piece
that-
of shit to like your teammate. If you're fucking up, Jordan's the number one guy to jump down your throat. For him to leave Dennis alone completely means I know this guy's great. He's just fucking nuts. I don't want to deal with it. You go do you. I know you're good.
Get
Do you
your
think
rebounds.
I
that?
think
Do you
with
think that
most
Jordan
people-
recognizes on some level? Because Jordan has his issues, right? Jordan, like to gamble, like to get out there in the world and do a couple things that could be considered taboo. Do you think on some level Jordan was like, okay, this guy's great, and
He's just out there about his
cost,
shit.
the cost of greatness sometimes is being out there. I'm out there with this gambling and this other stuff that I'm fucking around with. Maybe he's out there with dyeing his fucking hair, but as long as he's getting me 15 rebounds a night.
Right.
I mean, at the same time, I think a lot of people are shocked when you hear that because, like, you'd be surprised how many times people just don't fucking hang out. Like, a lot of
Right.
championship teams, like, they just
not buddies,
don't. They're
yeah.
not. Yeah,
It's a
they're,
job.
They're professionals. Like,
Yeah.
they come,
Right.
they go to work, and then they fucking do what they fucking
And
do.
I think that they like once the Bulls guys like once that broke up, I think he played for the Lakers and the Mavs after that, and he was like a total disaster. Like
Yeah,
just
Mavs
getting
signed
suspended, technicals. Like it was like a joke. You know, it was like he didn't have. I don't think there was anybody on those teams that he respected enough to like fall in line. You know what I mean? So I think he needs someone that he was like. You know,
So
I
he
respect
really
that you're
respected
great,
Jordan.
and they respect that you're crazy, but you do your thing. And, it's
and
like
at the same time, his skill is a very complementary skill. So it's not like he
you don't
can't
take
just
away
fucking-
from anybody.
Yeah, you
Dude,
don't
he's
take
the
away from
best teammate on earth. If he's not crazy, he just plays the best defense and gets all the
does
rebounds.
everything that you don't
crowd
Wants
was
no
juiced
shots
up
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's going to give all effort. He's going to set the standard for effort for your team. He's
Fuck with
diving
the other
for every
team's
loose
best
ball.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh, so and maybe I'd love to talk to Jordan about that. Hopefully that will be in that cool Jordan doc that comes
I'm
out.
dying to see that.
But I would love to just have like a
Hope they
like
do
a
that right.
15-minute
You
convo.
can tell by the fucking glass of fucking
Yeah.
yak in his cup. They're gonna do it.
But I would love to see just a 15-minute convo from Jordan just about his relationship with Rodman and like how he learned to manage his greatness and like what he learned was the best approach. And maybe
I think he said that that Scotty wanted an apology from when they were like Pistons Bulls like rivalry, and then Phil Jackson said something like, "You have to go apologize to Scotty," and he was like, "Go fuck yourself, no shot." But just to kind of like Scottie Pippen, a guy who wants the apology versus like Jordan, just kind of
I want a ring.
whatever. Yeah,
That's
like,
the apology.
Yeah, he's on my team now, like name on the front sort of thing. So I am on the court, off the court. Most interesting cat like in the world, I think.
Yeah.
Wild,
Dude, so many cool things you've been doing at Barstool. I feel like I'm a big fan of Barstool, and we've had this discussion off air. But just I feel like sometimes you guys get a bad rap from people who don't even know you,
Don't even
They have
try.
no
Don't even give it a
idea of the content whatsoever. But
Right.
what you've been doing over there, it seems to me, is pretty awesome because you have creative flexibility. They'll
Complete
get
freedom.
behind these projects that you want to do, and they'll support them and put them out. And for me as a creative, it's like I've tried to build this within my own, our own ecosystem here.
Right.
But it's amazing that you're part of a network that allows you to do that. Most networks do not.
Yeah, I mean, once you get the job, for better or worse, like it's like just go. You have like a clean slate. Like when I started, I got to log into the WordPress blog, and it was like write whatever you want, man.
And are you still
And,
writing a lot, or are you doing?
I
other
mean, just
content
sheer like time constraint. I'm not when I
Right.
can. I do. Like the reason I've only done probably 4, 5, or 6 of those storyboards is that it's like putting together a full documentary. And when we're doing
Right.
2 podcasts a week, 5 days of radio, 4 rundowns, Snapchat, it's just like it all adds up, and there's just not enough time to do them right. So same thing with writing. It's just more time consuming. But I bang them out when I can.
now? How do you manage
but-
your time?
I mean, at this point, I'm kind of like, what makes us the most money? It's like, what's the most valuable? What's the most profitable? Like, the blog, writing, keeping the page views up and keeping the actual website is important, but it's not like you write this blog and you bring in this money for the company. You know what I mean? It's kind of like more of a long-term, how many page views do you get translates to how many advertisers you get,
Right.
Whereas, like, if I get more downloads on the podcast, the rate goes up we get more money. You know what I mean?
Right,
Sort of like
of
directly
course.
like that. I do.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Nice to meet you, man.
Kaz got to roll out.
Yeah, I got to roll. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like that's the podcast was I started the podcast at Barstool. We had the first one, so I feel like the audio world is like where I've kind of chosen to make my mark. So we do the 2 hours of Sirius every day. We do the podcast a couple times a week. So that's more, which is funny though, because I think at the end of the day, just as a written blogger, I think is actually my best skill.
Right.
But it just seems to be more of a important to the company to do the podcast radio thing right now.
I love it. I love it. I feel like for me, one of the trickiest things with wearing a lot of the hats is not giving myself enough time to create. And I've been thinking about how do I get to a place where I can focus on creating and not focus on going, I need this thumbnail for this YouTube video. Because so much of my
that's what's
day
good. Like with something like Barstool is like we got producers and interns and people who do the graphics and all that kind of shit. Stuff that not only consumes your time, but I just do not know how to do. You know, I couldn't. Maybe I could sit around and watch a YouTube tutorial and learn, but my brother, who's now my producer, was kind of the guy. As
the guy I met there?
Up. Yeah. So he was doing that shit for me when we were both just kind of like trying to cobble it together. Now he's there in an official
Dude, that's
capacity.
such a blessing to have a family member who is good at that thing. Even Andrew early on, Greg filming everything.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of bootstrapped it and like learned that shit on his own.
Yeah.
And he loves that kind of stuff. So that worked out
Dude,
well.
you
And
need
now
it.
There's all
You
the
need
resources.
you need a team.
And then there's just so many hours in a day without like burning yourself out too. It's
Well, that's the thing.
We could do this literally 24 hours a day, but you're gonna burn out.
Burn myself out on the creative than burn myself out on the administrative.
Absolutely.
Because it sometimes feels for me like, I'm looking for new space right now for a new podcast studio and some other a creative space essentially for other projects, and it's like, okay, I'm going to look
not
at
the
space.
best use of your time.
Exactly, but it's almost like I want someone who's my right hand who almost acts as a buffer. Where that I trust their instincts on. Hey, this is the right thumbnail. This is the right thing. This is
They got to get your humor. They got to get the message.
and they got to know what I want technologically, and then so they can have that kind of they can go back and forth with Alex about what the thumbnail and that kind of stuff.
You can trust that they're doing it right.
Exactly. And I have to accept it. It won't be exactly what I want, but it will be.
I think that'll be tougher for you to accept.
I know, but I'm learning to accept.
When you give up a little control,
But there's the only way you scale, right? The only way you can scale up is you have to delegate. But it's like I can't be going I can't be all day doing every description, every title, fixing every word on everything, because then I won't have time to just think of ideas and create shit.
I watched it with Portnoy, the guy who founded Barstool.
Yeah.
He's like half business, like high business shit, talking about trying to sell this thing, acquisitions and salaries and who we were going to sign. And while he's still like blogging and making videos and doing radio, and he's just getting fucking ripped in either direction.
You can't.
It's like
I mean, that's why you guys brought in the CEO, right? That's why you guys.
we need somebody who's just like smarter than us and knows what they're doing, because
you guys do the business.
Yeah.
And it's the only way to truly scale. But delegating the responsibility is tricky because you know your vision.
People who have the same, they're like-minded, same instincts.
It's a very tricky hire. It's like I got very lucky with Alex. Alex and I are on the same page with humor and on the same page with like content and like.
Like you said about the girl having the seizure, it was like, let's go.
But just knew.
So
not only that, it's like in a weird way, when Alex started this, he didn't really do a lot of video. So I think one of the benefits is he's evolved as a content creator with my voice.
Yeah.
Right? If you take some guy who's coming from the outside, often they have their voice and how they want to.
Oh man, that's the most important. We hire like a new cameraman or someone to follow around that,
right.
And they're they just know, all right, when that happens, film him because he's going to have a reaction instead of filming, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost at Barstool, probably like your cameraman editing instincts are what they teach you is probably wrong. It's like, focus on the action. No. Focus on the reaction and shit like that.
Because everybody's tapped in to see your personality, and they want to see how you're reacting to the world you're in instead of this lady falling. Who gives a fuck about
Right. Or you give someone something to edit, and it's like it comes back, and it's like, dude, you took out all the funny shit, and it's like you're doing, what you thought was the best joke.
You're shooting a movie. We're not shooting a movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, you're shooting a reality show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I've even noticed from when I first started working with you, Drew, to now, it's like when we first were combing over material, you would like nitpick over a lot of stuff.
Right.
Now it's like you see that I see your vision.
Yeah, I've noticed
Yeah.
the growth in Alex too. Like he just seems to get it, and the fact that,
he's really
and
good.
that's why I want to make sure not that my voice means so much, but I want to make sure I complimented like him getting that moment is like, not a lot of people would get that. And that's a testament to working with you and you just kind of talking to him and you helping him along. But like that was
it's like sports, like chemistry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you lob the alley oop up and you know someone's gonna just be there and throw it down.
100%.
But yeah, it's something I've been thinking about, and I try to ask people who are like you in your position in terms of scaling up. It's like at a certain point in time, I cannot do the minutia of this if I'm going to build it into something as big as I see.
Well,
I
and
have
that's-
to delegate.
That's where we, you know, if we're trying to acquire new people, a lot of guys are like, well, I'm gonna try to do it on my own. I don't want to like give up, ownership or a cut of it. And I'm like, more power to you, but you will just run into a ceiling where it's just like if you are a 1-man, 2-3-man operation, eventually it's like you're gonna have to have an influx of money, an influx of resources, whatever it may be. So that's always kind of the pitch we make. But then that's where Portnoy was like. He did it on him, on his own. He got
You can
to
go
this
far.
level. You can do it, but
if
you have to be, it's a rare person who can take
rare.
it to that
you
next
can,
level.
I mean, it's amazing what we've accomplished. Just Alex and I in terms of content this year so far. It's unfucking real.
And you get a big cosign. You get someone like Rogan or someone who throws it out there, and
Massive.
it's like,
And that is the
Takes off.
beauty, and that's what you and I were talking about. Like, there is justice to this shit. Like, if you put out good content, like I was.
hopefully the
so-
cream rises to the top.
It does. It does. And the people that are around you that aren't struggling will support you. That's what I've noticed. The first people to support are the people that are doing well.
They don't need to, watch theirs and backstab and to protect.
They're not
and defend.
they're not jealous. They're not
Yes,
bitter.
yeah.
They're truly going, yo, this is really
Yeah.
good. Like that Ask the Internet idea, I thought it was so, or Answer the Internet, I thought it was so fucking good because you knock it out within the same time as the podcast. It's right after the podcast.
Bang. Once we've hopefully got gained the rapport or whatever,
Right.
you open up a little
Ah,
bit.
Which is good.
Easy money, hopefully.
But yeah, I gotta manage. I gotta figure that out, Kev. How do I put
It
all
seems
those
like a good
tasks?
start, man. I mean,
Dude, we're
everybody seems
fucking
to,
knocking it.
to
It's
mesh
amazing.
Here,
But Alex and I will be texting each other all day, and like he's out to dinner with his girl. It's like I want, you know what I mean? Like
interns, man.
That's the other thing. And then
Free
you,
labor.
but,
It's like
but you
you
get
can't
what
trust
you pay
some
for.
of these idiots, and it's like you can get just like, grunt work done, that kind of shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then sometimes you stumble upon,
Some gold.
the next one.
Maybe that's it. I just
the
gotta
two
keep
people
my
that
eyes-
we've hired that were free at first have ended up becoming great and full-time people and like,
Absolutely.
There's a lot you got to sift through. A lot. Like when we started, so Dave expanded from Boston to New York, and he was like, I'm looking for new writers. And I think he got very lucky that he found me and one other guy, Keith, who we split it to begin, but we were like good, and like that worked. And I wonder sometimes if he didn't hit on his first two expansions,
Definitely
like if
not.
he would have just said, you know what, fuck this didn't work. Let me scale back to Boston and just like Dave could have just chosen to dominate Boston, keep the money in his pockets, and like he wanted to blow this up to like an empire.
Yeah.
But then our search for other people was like more of a process and not as fruitful. But when you do find the right people and hit, it's like it multiplies. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like now you have another person and they're going to be searching for their people, and that's how it, it's
that's how it
exponential
grows.
once you start to hit on more people.
This is what we've been talking about in a lot of ways. Like I want everybody here who's on this podcast and the other projects that we're doing to like have their own things that they're continue. Kaz has this show, Kaz in Effect, and it's like Eden is a guy who films it, and who knows what happens with that? Who knows what Akaash's project will be? But that's the idea. Is just like gremlins, just exponentially increase.
And then,
feed them after
when
midnight.
you're
pour the
overseeing all
water
of
on
it,
'em.
it's like you're like the GM almost. And
That's
it's like,
it.
I want all these guys to thrive because
Get your money up.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
You think you'd ever have any ego issues with, like, let's say one of these guys blows up even more than you?
No,
Do you think
because
you would ever be like, fuck, man, I want it to be the guy? Like,
no, because that for me it's not. For me, I'm in love with the process, not the outcome.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So it's like there are
absolutely.
videos that we do that have
not even close to the amount of views as other ones, but they were more fun.
Right. You like those.
I
ones
loved
better.
making it
because
I'm in love with the process. So any views that come afterwards are like icing on the cake. That's
Right.
amazing. So for me, it's like
But again, that's because you're in a position to do that. Like
Right.
your success is.
I'm eating. If I wasn't eating, I'm sure I'd be just as jealous as everybody else.
I need the
right. But since I'm eating and I'm comfy and I can provide for my family and my friends, then I want to see it happen. Like I've been badgering this fucking kid right here, Akaash, to get me a stand-up clip because I think that it's going to explode in India. I have a good following in India, and once they see him, they're going to see the coolest version of themselves.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, get me this fucking clip
Get
because
that market.
boom, yeah, it's
Lock
like
that now, man.
That's it. Like I really think it's to the we're off to the races. So the way I set shit up is like, at least for me, my idea is like whoever blows just helps the brand. You know, like
Way to think about
I'm
it,
sure
man.
with Dave at Barstool is like, you know, it might be nice that he might have the most views on something, but if there's someone else who's killing it, that's eventually coming back to the brand.
Absolutely.
I've never gotten jealous. Maybe because we're so close, I've never gotten jealous of Andrew.
Right.
I've never been like, yo, fuck, he doesn't deserve. I've always thought he deserved that. The one thing that will happen is I'll get a little insecure, like, yo, fuck, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But then
that kind of breeds,
but there's
like-
no. But it hasn't ever gotten. I'm very, I guess, thankful maybe or whatever. But like, there yet to come close to the point where it's like, man, why is Andrew? I also see the
You know
fucking
why,
work.
it's- yeah,
it is
right.
maniacal.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is the most singularly focused person on work that I know
Right.
in any field.
Same way at Barstool. I mean, the guys who have really blown
Alex
up
is exhaling because he knows it's insane. Alex got a
takes that.
girl. Andrew married to this.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I mean, there's a few guys. For
And
the
that
longest
shit-
time, there was nobody was really having like families or anything. I got married. I had a couple kids, and I was happy with that. I love that side of being a dad. It's great. But you know, the guys who were just focused on this 24/7, it paid off. Like it showed out. So
And
like
you build
and
the
that-
life
yeah,
you want,
there's
and this
talent,
guy
like,
always wanted that, and I'm like, man, I don't know a guy that deserves it more. So like,
Right.
I've never thought like, because how can you say jealousy is usually he doesn't deserve that.
Right.
If I'm seeing the work, it's hard to be like he don't
Right.
deserve that.
And I feel you might get lucky on the internet. You make a video that goes viral.
So
you
much is
pop
that,
you
yeah.
pop a little bit.
Luck is once.
But yes, to the sustained, like, all right, now make another another million views, make another 100,000 downloads, whatever, so that sponsors come in and that you have listeners that respond to you, that buy the shit you say to buy and show up to the places you say to show up. That's where you need to work
Now
hard.
you have a
and the
business.
talent needs to show out. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that's a great point. There's a lot of people who can curate stuff, and every once in a while it pops. But it's like, can you create a business?
There's so much smoke and mirrors on the internet,
Yes.
especially early on when it was just about clicks on the blog.
Yeah.
If you know how to optimize SEO and do fucking social media, we get 1 million views.
Yeah.
Well, but when you put tickets on sale, how many are you going to sell? 0.
It's like
Put T-shirts on sale,
Yep.
0.
It's like being an Instagram model. It's like they have a lot of followers, but they're disengaged.
Right.
They'll give you the double clicks, but they're not going to any event that you're at. They don't
And so
care
then
about
what
you
the
enough.
Fuck is it worth?
It's not
Other
an
than your
intimate
own
relationship.
ego. I got 1 million followers. Like, who cares?
And it's a useless million.
right. I'd rather have 30,000 if 25,000 of them will
Simple
buy.
as that.
Should I say? Yeah.
There's this model. I forget what it was. It was like, but if you have 10,000 people, if you have 10,000 like loyal, diehard people that fuck with you, and they're willing to buy something that's $20 4 times a year. What does that come out to? That's 200,000 times 4. So that's $800,000 a year. And that's only 10,000 fans. So think about how many people that follow you on Instagram. If you really had an intimate enough relationship where they cared about your content that much, you could make $800,000 a year. And they'd be more than happy to support that. Take that in, Akaash. Like that's important to acknowledge, right? So it's like everybody's like, I need 1 million followers so you could sell fucking like hair vitamins.
Yeah,
no,
do
you just
the
need
real
people
shit,
who
yeah.
fuck with you.
Well, yeah, I don't know what the name of the model is in business, but it's our model. If you
Right.
look at our raw numbers, it's not the craziest out there. But people
Right.
looking at our my homie Doughboy, he got a podcast called Righteous and Ratchet, also doing very well on Patreon, and he said, I saw your Patreon and what it was doing,
Right.
and then I was like, yo, we got to get on this. And then I asked him about his raw numbers, double, triple hours,
Right.
like his just regular episode. But we've cultivated a fan base of people that fuck with us. It's a
It's
family.
different, right? It's like when somebody does, I notice this, like when people do Flagrant,
like they get this pop on their podcast or their
Absolutely.
content.
That's how you know.
That's how you know it's real.
Yeah.
And then you go on certain, you go on certain shows. Like there's the reason there's a difference between like the New York Times podcast and the Rogan podcast is you go on the Rogan podcast and then your life changes slightly or majorly afterwards. The New York Times one is like, okay, a lot of people listen to it, but they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you have like-minded people listening to a Joe Rogan podcast. He co-signs that this is funny or this is interesting.
Yeah.
And they go listen the same way that you're gonna co-sign someone else, and
Boom.
He's at the top of the pyramid, but everybody can kind of offer their own value to someone a little bit below. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you just got to keep climbing that shit.
Yes. So how do we fix New York, Kev? You and I have had extensive conversations.
Yeah, man. I think it's
about the New
simple.
York
The
comedy scene.
very first thing that I noticed is that the only time people were coming on the show was like, I got a book out, I got a special out, let me come do 15 minutes, and it's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But just come to just sit down, do an hour, be funny, just come
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do yours. And now, my people think you're funny, and your people think I'm funny, and then we do it with his and his and his, and that shit multiplies. Like, just continue to show your talents rather than showcase whatever you're pushing in that moment.
Don't sell.
So
Stop trying to
sorry,
pitch
to
yourself.
fill people in who might not know, Andrew has been talking about essentially doing what Rogan has done in LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of built up the comedy scene with comics that he thinks are funny. He gives them the platform. Andrew's essentially wants to be East Coast Rogan, which is a noble thing.
Right.
So that's what he's talking about with Kev right now. How do we do
was
that
trying
here?
to do the same thing.
That
It
was like the same
that was like our
idea
first
that I
combo,
had,
yeah.
thinking that Barstool could be the East Coast Rogan, just to put him on to a whole network where, I mean, again, anyway, I'm reluctant to even say be the Rogan, because it's like nobody.
You're just
can.
using
But
an example.
The
like,
model of like
that's
yeah,
who we
I
aspire
Rogan
to
model.
be,
Yes,
how we
yes,
look up
yes,
to, and like how
right.
we, most importantly, how we like can help other people have
the
careers.
way he kind of gives back. And
That's
the way,
what I look at
yes.
Rogan in the most. I'm just like, wow, this guy has
The Midas
given,
touch, man.
bro, multiple people homes.
Right.
Like there are people
Right.
paying mortgages off of Rogan
Right.
experience.
Yes.
And like, how do we do that for comics here? How do we? And I mean
that
this
was
together.
The first thing I noticed is just like I got my booker who does a great job telling me, he's gonna come in for 15 minutes. I'm like, give me your number, man. Let me talk to you, get
Yeah.
to know you, we'll become friends, and you just come in to do it. And
Yeah.
I, hopefully return the favor, and we're all funny. I mean, it's just it's a matter of getting outside the individual times you come on and think
Yes.
about the bigger picture.
And it's like when I was on yours, it's like I don't even know if I promoted the special at all.
Because that doesn't. No one's
It doesn't
gonna
do it. They'll
work,
go. They'll
Yeah.
go.
Right.
If it's
and
good, they'll
especially that's
go.
where I hope that Barstool can be the difference maker, because it's like I can say it on my podcast, or hopefully we'll link to it on a social media account that has 4 million followers.
That was
like,
crazy,
That's when you can click right on it. That's where we hopefully will drive the people. So just be funny, just put out a good product, and hopefully the machine that is Barstool can take care of the rest.
That's it.
The internet has created much more of a meritocracy than anything before it.
Mhm.
Like when it was gatekeepers, they pick who they like.
Right.
They pick what
And if you
sells
get,
ads.
blackballed, whatever, that's
bang.
it. You're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
Right.
I think Instagram's throttling my shit because I don't know for certain, but like a clip will get maybe 50,000 views, and I'm grateful for it, but it'll get 700 comments.
Mhm. And comments are, again, that's the engagement that's like.
Right. So, but you would think that at 800 comments, I look at other people's view count versus comment count, and it's there'll be 200,000 views,
Something's going on here.
but no comments.
They're either buying views or Instagram is throttling your shit down.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know. I have to look into it. I mean, look, I'm grateful anybody watches anything, but there's this thing in me where I want to get what is deserved.
Absolutely, and there is a matter of if someone who just stumbles upon it sees 50,000 views, it's like, all right, that's interesting.
Right.
You see someone do 250,000, 500,000, it's like,
That's
I have
the
to follow
idea.
this, you
Right.
know?
That's the idea,
Yeah.
but I would say this to you. I do think they're buying views also
Yeah.
because not a lot of people are selling tickets like you're selling tickets.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding.
There we go.
Yeah.
There is there's the personal, intimate engagement. And look, I'm creating content for my people. I'm creating content for the people that listen now. So it's not a big deal if they don't. What I just don't want is the idea that there's somebody conspiring,
Right.
or a company conspiring.
Right.
to
I'll
hold
open
something.
this up to if you do the right,
Because
fuck
it
that.
defeats the whole purpose of you were saying the
Yeah.
meritocracy. It's
Yeah.
let it rip. If it's supposed to
Right.
rip,
Well, that's
it's
why
ripping.
in a perfect world, eventually, you get to a place where there's no third parties at all. Because it's like we were putting stuff on Facebook and it was getting a zillion views, and then they changed the rules, and it's like, oh, well, now you can't say this or say that. They're gonna suppress that. It's like, all right, well, on to the next. And right now YouTube seems good, but until they switch up the game on you, and then
there will always be something else.
Yeah. So if you, it's
I'll
kind
tell
of
you,
impossible to get to a level where you don't need any social media platforms in this day and age. But
yes,
we started our subscription, Barstool Gold. It's like it's all in-house. We control all of it. There are no rules. There are no nothing. You got to pay a little bit of money, but that's because we're going to be saying whatever we want, doing whatever we want, and no rules to be played by.
This is Andrew C tends to see things pretty far in the future. I don't know that I'm seeing this correctly. One thing I think I see is the internet has cut out middlemen left and right. It used to be so many people you knew, their entire job was just they're a middleman. Remember in Office Space when they asked the guy, like, what do you do? And he's like, well, I take the information from upstairs to downstairs.
Yes,
like, well, why can't they just do that themselves?
Right.
So many people like that.
People will never give that up.
And
they
now,
know that they're useless.
Exactly.
It's like, no, you give me that, and I'll call him.
And now the internet,
if you call him directly, you're fucked.
Yeah. And now the internet is just getting rid of those guys left and right. Agents and managers are all just middlemen. Somebody wants to call and know the actor's not crazy, so an agent basically is the cosign. Hey, he's not insane. That's it. Now we don't need agents and managers as much. I think YouTube, all this shit, that's a big-ass middleman, but we're going to find ways around all of it. Like you said, even the Patreon, at some point it might just be, hey, here's my app.
Yeah,
this is my app.
Right.
We'll figure out how you find it. This is the Barstool app. You pay a monthly fee, you get all the content on Barstool.
Yep.
We are just finding ways to own our own shit more and more and more.
Owned
And as they
operated,
throttle
man.
down more and more, cool, the advertisers are happy, but you are fucking yourself in the long run.
That's the thing with, I agree with you. Like the companies that throttle hurt themselves because, Facebook lost a lot of great content that people really enjoyed because they changed it, right? And, if YouTube does it, they're going to lose content as well. The reason why I'm so bullish on YouTube is because it's a search engine, not because it's a platform. It's like if you're going, what happened to Darius Miles? You type that into YouTube a lot of times. Or what happened in this MMA fight? You type it into YouTube. So it's for me, it's people are trying to access information instead of going, I just would like to be entertained.
Right.
So you can pop up in their life in that way.
Right. But I still feel like there's, the rules to be played by where the algorithm will fucking throw
100%.
you in and pop you out.
100%.
And what's good right now is what YouTube, at least my basic understanding, what they want is aligned with what the content creator wants to do. You know what I mean? It's like make longer, more engaging, more retention. It's like that's what we're trying to do anyway.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm like selling out to make YouTube happy right now.
Oh, no.
But the day that they decide that they want
gotta
something
move.
like that, you got to play by their rules.
There
So
will be something else.
ultimately-
There will always
Yeah,
that's
there'll always
capitalism
be,
too. There
right.
will always be something else. My dad said that 15 years ago about Walmart. Everybody's saying they're getting too big. My dad said when I moved to America, Sears was the same thing. Unstoppable. Everybody thought it was too big.
Yeah.
Now it's dead. Something will come take Walmart. And it was Amazon. And now people are freaking out. Something will take Amazon.
Right.
YouTube, something will take you. It's just the fucking way this
Cycle of
country
life.
works.
Yeah.
It's the way business in this country works. It's a life cycle of business.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to even think about, but I believe it, man. It's a
That
the
direct
content game
subscription
is
shit,
tough.
though, is interesting. I mean, we tried it years ago when I just had my podcast. We did $1 a month. So it was like real small commitment.
Yeah.
And we just offered like one extra podcast, some video aspect of the one that we put out. And it was, it's
almost
it
too
basically
small.
paid. Yeah, I mean that was just within Barstool. Like we just did it on our own, and we had our own app, and it was basically kept the dues that we had to pay for the app running.
Right.
But it was interesting to watch. Like when we really weren't that big, there was like a few thousand people that were like, yeah, I'll break you off $1, and it's like okay.
What's interesting is that we've learned is if you're willing to pay $1, you're willing to pay $5.
Yeah, right. It's
Because-
like, where do you stop? You know
Well,
what
that's
I mean?
the thing. It's like you're accessing. What we realize is you're accessing people, and they're that are incredibly appreciative and grateful for the content, but it serves a part of their life. Like there's for a 2-hour chunk of their workday, they get to enjoy and have some laughs and feel distracted. So
worth the money. Yeah.
for them, between 1 and 5. There's zero difference in terms of that value.
Right.
And that's something that, when we were putting out the tiers, we were like, you have to do 5 because 1, we want this to blow up. Like so many people know about our podcast just because of how successful our Patreon was.
And it's the dollar amount they always notice. That's why Doughboy called me dollar amount.
I had a little, yeah, exactly, right. And I had a little. I was doing a Bobby Kelly's podcast.
Meaning it's like affordable and like that.
No, they
like,
see how much we're grossing every month.
Oh God,
The monthly
and they're
cost.
like,
oh, you can see that.
and that's
shit.
why they assume our.
Oh well, I chose to leave it on.
Yeah,
Because initially they were like, no. I was like, no, leave it
yeah.
on. And because I understand, like, people are motivated by their own survival, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I was on Bobby Kelly's podcast, and there was a few comics on, and we were talking about Patreon or something like that, and I had a little experiment, and I was like, I'm trying to give you guys advice here, and they weren't really listening, and I was like, just go to my Patreon, and then they saw how much we were making on the Patreon,
Oh, okay.
and immediately it's like, oh, well, what should we do this at the other?
Yeah.
And I remember taking it out of Akaash, and I was like, I just dropped how much we make on the Patreon today. I want to see how long it takes before I start hearing about it from the other comics. I literally go downstairs to the cellar, and Norman comes up to me. This is 10 minutes after doing a podcast, and he's like, bro, I just heard what you guys are making on the page. And I was like, I knew it, because at the end of the day, survival is what motivates people, right?
To be fair, we heard about Patreon through Cumtown, who those are all good dudes, funny comics. But we heard how much they're making on the Patreon. And we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
For even us.
Yeah, you start to turn heads.
And I made sure, and we've made sure all of our goals are patron aligned. We want the patrons. The money is great. I was broke before, so it's great to have it.
Right.
It's about the patrons. But I've even noticed with me, who didn't have an agent, didn't have a manager, some agent came up to me last week, no bullshit, and he was like, I got this audition for you. I heard you got this huge podcast, everything. And I'm like, all right, I guess. But, like, you just feel the shift around the dollar amount.
That there are a few
Once there's
things
money
people
to be made,
realize.
they start the sharks start fucking swirling.
No, besides that, that's definitely the agents, but even like your contemporaries will see salvation within you, right? And the other thing I've noticed is like the people who support you, they want to be part of a winning team. Like they want you
They
to
want that
have
number
the
to be
chip.
higher and
Yeah,
higher.
because they
Yeah.
reflect as like, yo, I'm part of
That's
that.
where when you get people who ride for you and they like want that, we see that all the time when somebody comes like from the outside. Like we're all competitive and bullshitting with each other. We have our rivalries in house, but somebody comes from the outside and starts like throwing rocks at the throne, and all of a sudden everybody like falls in line. All the fans are like, "Fuck that! Nobody's coming." Like the same guys who 2 minutes earlier were trashing me were like, "Whoa, wait a minute! Like, I can make fun of him. I'll fuck with this guy,
it's
but
family.
not you." Yeah,
It's
exactly.
family.
Very family. The fans are very family oriented, and they. Like we made all the tiers as well, and like we're seeing a lot of people who are choosing the highest one because they're like, it's a good offering. The money makes sense for what you get, but it's also like a thank you or like we want this to be as big as possible. So fuck yeah. You know?
Oftentimes we're so grateful that we have people listening to us. I think one of the trickiest things in overcoming like fame, we'll just call it fame, but like is understanding that you're giving someone value.
Yeah, it's a weird. I still don't believe it
Right?
sometimes, and
'Cause
like I
you're
feel like you have
so-
a very good grasp on it, where you're just like, yeah, no, like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and
Yeah.
I know I'm funny, and I know I got a better grasp on things than like the next guy does, and sometimes I'm like, do I?
I'm
don't
constantly
know why
in
the
my own head,
fuck?
yeah.
Yeah, like,
But
do they really like? I am very much a guy who like I wake up and I'm like, maybe today is the day that the internet just stops thinking I'm funny, or the internet doesn't give me the
Good,
same.
let it motivate you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think we all need that insecurity to get better. Like, you need the confidence to do and the insecurity to improve.
yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Like that balance. But you wouldn't be doing if you didn't feel like you had a competitive advantage in
Yeah,
the
but
world.
you know what's interesting too is like to go back to like there was a time before I was at Barstool, I was doing it. I was an accountant and I was just doing it to do it, like straight.
And how
love of
much
the
fun
game.
was it? It
Oh,
was the most fun.
Best.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be like, I come home, I'm like 23, maybe 24,
Yeah.
and like buddies like doing whatever, and I'm just blogging, and they're like, for what, you know? And
'Cause
at
you
that
loved
point, it was
it.
like a couple hundred people, but I was like,
Yeah.
it's fun
Because
I
it wasn't
love
about the
And there was
outcome.
no- yes,
it
and
was
there
about
no,
the
like,
act.
I said whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I liked doing it. And so there is something intangible. And then even when we did start at Barstool, it was like, yes, if I write more and I write funnier and the clicks go up,
The
and the ads
outcome
go
is
up, the
higher.
money goes
Yeah.
higher, whatever, fine. But it was like, I want to be the first person to blog about this. I want to find that story first and put that up because it was a competitive like sports type of thing to me where it was like, I want to be the best at it. If you don't have that mindset, you're fucked.
There's
To your first
one thing
point,
real
go
quick. There's a I started a kickboxing recently, right? And I go to this place called Tiger Schulman's kickboxing thing,
Oh, yeah.
and you know Tiger Schulman, and they have belts in kickboxing, right? And the better you do, you get like these different color belts, and you get the straps. And I don't wear a belt, and I don't want a belt, and it's because I just want to enjoy kickboxing.
Right, you're not there to climb
I don't
the ranks
want
there.
right.
You're
I don't
doing
want to
that
put
over
the
here.
outcome.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
My whole life is being judged.
Yes.
Right,
yeah,
based
with
on
that.
everything we do on stage, our work, the podcast,
Right.
etc. It's nice to have one thing where, like, it's like blogging back in the day for you when you had your regular job. You're like,
do it.
I just want to do it. I just want to
Yeah.
learn how to fucking do this, roundhouse kick or whatever the
Right,
fuck it is.
good,
and
bad,
throw it.
whatever. I don't care where I fall. I just want to do it. Yeah.
If they want to give me belts,
Sure.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's truly not.
I want to try to be a black belt, but
Look, if you give me cool, if I stay a white belt, it doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to allow myself to make it about the belt because I know it will take a little bit of the joy.
right,
Why do I want
it
to?
becomes work then.
Yes.
You're mixing work with pleasure, sort of thing.
Exactly.
It's
Sorry, what were
interesting.
you saying, Akaash?
Well, this is kind of ties into that and what you were saying. Also, what you were saying earlier when you had the most fun when you weren't making money. When I was going broke and we were doing this podcast, I'm legit losing my fucking apartment. But this was the most fun it's ever been.
Yep.
And I think I'm just now starting to get back to how fun it was then.
Right.
Because it was like, not only is there no expectation that this, I knew long term this is going to be a lucrative thing, but I also, this was my break. You're 23, you got your work, you got your relationship, whatever you got. When you come here, all that shit goes away.
Yeah.
All my financial trouble is gone. And then once the money came in, then it's like, oh fuck, I got to give them their money's worth. There's an outcome now, and now there's a performance I have to meet,
Yes,
and there was a
yes.
pressure that came with that.
Definitely.
And only now, kind of talking to Andrew, and even just like that has helped, and just being like, okay, well,
Then
just
that
you have
kinda
to trust your
plateaus
instinct,
and
and
you
then
know
that,
that, they
yeah,
like
and then
you
don't
and-
be tied to whatever. Just have
Yeah.
fun, and then everything will follow. But yeah,
Right.
that kind of ties into that.
The confidence to be like, I mean, I hit a point where I realized just with my takes that I was like, enough people agree with basically my gut every time. Like I read a news story and I'm like, fuck that person, and that's my take. And there's enough people that are like, yeah, fuck that person. Or hey, this thing, I like that. And there was enough people. You're not gonna please everybody. And actually, a lot of the times, I feel like I am one of the more like controversial people who I'll like speak out against it. But there's enough people who agree with almost all my opinions at some point that I know, enough people will click on it or continue to follow or whatever. When you accept that about yourself, like I'm funny enough, or I am interesting enough, or I'm like-minded enough,
Shockingly
it's
tough.
powerful. Like,
Shockingly
it's hard
tough.
to get there.
No,
and,
but you're
like,
free.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I'll ever fully. I feel like he is just like. You've got like comedy moksha going on right now. Where it's
Yeah,
just like,
you're
in a zone.
He's in his fucking zone. It's
Yeah.
beautiful to see, and it's like,
Yeah.
again,
I sometimes wonder if I was, if it was just like my podcast. If I was at the level I'm at with just my operation and my guys, I would probably be a lot more comfortable like
What-
you
what
are
do you
now.
mean by that?
Like because there's just so much natural competition at Barstool,
Right.
and there's so many other people.
Right.
And a new podcast starts, and that shoots up, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I should be doing more like what they're doing, because
Right.
it's like right next door, it's right there,
Right.
Does
Whereas if it was
Barstool-
just my podcast, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, that guy's succeeding, but I don't need to like do that. But when you see directly, like, these same salespeople that are selling this are now selling the shit out of that, and the same people who are watching and clicking there or clicking this, I'm like, maybe I should be doing more of that or whatever. It just naturally breeds more thought.
What if another podcast just gets more popular and just has more viewers?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's basically like so
Akaash has to use the bathroom. That's why he's walking away. But go on.
our podcast was first, like we started
course,
it,
yeah, your
and
OGs.
then Pardon My Take comes in, and they're just like one of the biggest on the internet,
Right.
And that's definitely like oh shit, maybe we should be doing more of like what they do. And they're the guys I use as the example of like they did it 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? And they never stopped. So it was like that's why they're who they are.
Yeah.
But it's good for business on like I've been here from the beginning and like an equity owner, like, yeah, let's fucking blow this all up.
Yeah.
But on an individual level, it's like, well, I want mine to be the best. You know what I
Right.
mean? So there's
But maybe it
breeds
is.
competition and hunger. I mean, I'm sure to some people it is. You know what I mean? So that's
like-
I feel like enough people are aligned with ours that I'm like comfortable with
Yeah.
it. But I'm always gonna be enough of a like. There's always more. You know what I mean? I
Right,
don't ever want
yeah.
to rest on my laurels, but I do want to. You got to give yourself some credit. You got to you got to like let yourself know.
Because
like,
yours
you're
is
doing
the
it good.
best to some people.
Right.
Right. And then I guess the question becomes, how many people does it need to be the best to?
Two for you to feel like, yeah.
And how many do you think?
I don't know if there is a number.
Well, so that's the answer right there. Like
Yeah.
if it's an infinite amount.
Because well, I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
if the numbers that I'm getting now, if I got like 10 years ago, I would have been like, that's all I need to be super happy, to be the ultimate success,
Right,
you know.
right.
So I think it always just kind of continues.
Well, what about
to grow.
this? Let's say you had the biggest podcast on Barstool, right? Then you're going to be looking at Rogan like, well, we don't have Rogans.
Right.
There's
There's always somebody,
So
unless
you're
you're
always
Rogan.
unless you're Rogan, right?
Unless you get to the top.
And then, but it's like,
Yeah.
and then you're always going to be looking at something else where.
Well, I think there's definitely like within the Barstool bubble, like we think it's the end all be all, and it's like,
Right.
it's popular and we're doing well. So if you're the best of that, for sure you're killing it. But there's always somebody bigger. And then you get to the biggest podcasts, and there are like, Hollywood actors and TV actors like fuck a podcast. There's always an art form that's higher and
So
bigger
it's a
and more
shitty
lucrative.
thing to chase.
Yeah,
It's
it
like if
is.
you're creating
But I also
something.
think the chase is what keeps you going.
See, I don't. I thought that. And then I found out.
That it's just the satisfaction of doing it.
If you really like your blog, like if you really love it, you're just gonna do it because you fucking love it. And I feel like you'd be doing the same thing because you love it.
Where I think if it was just my show, we were out on our own, it would be like, there are no rules, there are no bosses, there's no nothing.
Right.
Like, say whatever you want. Let's be comfortable with each other. Like, it definitely becomes more about that. So I guess you're right. But I do think that there's a practical business side to all this shit where it's
100%.
like chase the views or the downloads or whatever because you make more money and that's good, and there is a business capitalistic side to it that I think you can't get too hippy dippy about it. Where it's like it's just about having fun.
We got to pay. We got to pay bills.
Yeah.
We got to. We have people that
and there is a
rely on us.
monetary thing that's everybody wants nice clothes and nice
without a
shit
doubt.
and stuff like that.
The question is, at what point beyond that threshold does shit matter?
Right.
So we all recognize we need a threshold. Maybe it's $250,000 a year. Maybe it's $500,000 a year. Maybe it's $10 million a year. You never know what it is for you.
Yeah, it all varies.
But like after that is the question, right? If you're making, let's say you're making $20 million a year, and you're still upset that this other podcast has 20,000 more listens a month, I'm like, Kevin, shut the fuck
Right,
up. Like,
you're good.
Are you kidding me?
You're
Like,
good. Right.
like everything's good.
Right.
So I guess that's how I kind of look at stuff, and my number's not that high. There's not the only reason I want to bring in more is so I can just expand this and just do more and create more and but yeah, man, like the idea that your podcast is the best already is so true, because I know from even doing it and having like so many people tweet out and just talking about how much they love your podcast. Like I had people tell me that listen to this and they were like, yo, my podcast worlds are colliding.
Yeah, that's
all
the best
time.
feeling. That's the best feeling.
You're like,
yeah.
oh fuck,
yes,
like
yes. And that's when I know. I feel like when I have certain guests on, I know. Like I remember him coming in and I was like, shit is about to go down. You know what I mean? Like, clear the schedule. We're going to make this a standalone episode. We're not going to put anything else around it, because when someone's coming in that's like, this person gets it, or the fans are really going to like this. And which ones are there for just publicity. And
go listen to that up. It was a good one, and I gave a couple new premises that I'm going to be trying out, and I usually don't give that out, but for whatever reason the vibe was right. The white privilege
one is the funniest.
Yeah,
shit,
there could be some shit out there.
That was very funny.
Yeah. We had a good one. And it worked better, like just talking with you guys, because that's what happens. Like Akaash and I this will happen all the time. We'll just be riffing, and for whatever reason the environment, enables it.
Back
just being around. Like I always say, it's about Whitney.
That's what I want with the New York scene. It's like you will become funnier and better if you're doing it with people who are riffing, and
we got to get them. We got to find a way for where they can make money, because it is the reason LA exactly. The reason LA is so good is because they can eat and they're comfortable. And New York is the beauty of New York is also the destruction of it. You can make money being a stand-up here.
Yeah.
Barely.
Right.
But you can make a living.
There, yeah.
So now you got guys that are making a living doing stand-up, but they're fighting tooth and nail to keep everyone
out. Yeah,
yes.
I need that
so
stage
you
time.
can't
Or I need
help.
that fan. Yeah.
Nobody's going, Akaash, I gotta recommend you at blah 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 club, because they're like,
he still needs it. Yeah.
I need those spots.
Yeah.
I need my little $25. I need my $40, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And LA, you can't make a fucking living out there doing stand up. Everyone has to do something else.
Yeah.
And they started making a living doing that other thing. So stand up became your vlog. Right? Stand up became this thing. Oh, I'm just doing it for the passion.
Right, and then it's funnier and better, and
So we got that's a problem we gotta solve here, and we just gotta empower these comics, but we also got to choose the right ones, because
I know. Well, you
that's
talk
the
about
tricky thing.
working hard and all that shit is all very true, but it also comes down to talent. It's like
talent and also
you gotta
worthiness.
be a funny
like,
fucking guy, and you got to work.
Are these people worthy of the help? Like there's certain people that don't have the constitution to be helped.
Right.
You just can see it in their eyes. The second you help them, they get the opportunity, they're gonna fucking stab you. Right. So it's like,
like, are you gonna turn around and try to give back to the next person?
Are you gonna continue this?
Right.
I would love to help you.
Yeah.
Will you help other people?
Yeah.
Right.
Will you carry this forward?
That's
Yes.
probably, unfortunately, a very small number.
Very small.
Yeah. To be funny and hardworking enough, and then the last one be like and unselfish. That number is probably like single fucking digits at any given moment. You know.
So we got to find the 9 people.
All right.
Right.
We got to find the 9 people and help them. I don't want to keep you here all day, Kev. Is there anything else we could
doing it forever,
we could tell the people about?
No, I mean, you know,
They've probably already started watching Answer the Internet from the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, that was a big push. I appreciate that, man.
Dude, it's so good.
That's my new crack right now. Like I used to count like, you know, page view visits when I had my blog back in the day, and then I worried about Twitter followers, and now like my new thing is I'm watching views and subscribers rack up on YouTube because we are embarrassingly late to the YouTube game. So like this is the first page we're really having. So yeah, Answer the Internet on YouTube, KFC Radio on iTunes,
Go subscribe.
Spotify. And, you know, BarstoolSports.com is where you can catch all the writing. It's me and a whole network of funny fucking guys and girls.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of them on, man. We've had a bunch of them on, but I'm telling you, start with some of the Answer the Internet and get in a wormhole.
Digestible.
I really think the best guests we've had have been Barstool guests, and we've had good guests. I'm not knocking anybody.
Who'd we have?
Willie,
we had recently. Willie killed it. Francis killed it.
Funny, yep.
We had I think I told you this. We had an African dish, or this jollof, is this African rice dish.
Okay.
We had a challenge, and then I got the whitest guy I know, which is Francis, to come in.
For sure,
and
the whitest guy.
Which one was the best?
No doubt.
So, it was, but he
yeah, I
was
mean,
great.
we try to hire people who are, you know, talented and work hard and all that shit we've talked about, but also that, like, just kind of get it, you know? It's like the type of guy you'd want to just sit down and talk with or have a beer with, or not going to take yourself too seriously and all that shit.
Barstool.
Yeah.
Barstool Sports.
That's really
it's a
like,
brilliant
what
name.
You sit about sitting on the Barstool with your buddies.
Yeah.
And now, like I said, the girls are in the mix, too, and they're
Dude,
probably,
those girls are blowing up, man.
huge. A
I
lot
was-
of, like, different shows within the, you know, the girls
those
have
two
their own
ones.
Barstool now. Yeah,
What are those?
call her
daddy,
daddy
man.
are on they're on a
Man.
fucking rocket ship. Chicks in the Office are doing like the E-News type of model, like the celebrity gossip, and they're blowing up.
The brunette, Sophia,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We were texting a little bit. We met on
were
there.
you?
Yeah, and
Okay.
Which one?
Okay.
this is the brunette.
How did this come about?
What's her last name?
I think we met
Franklin.
on Raya or
Okay.
something like that. I'm not. I think
Okay.
Maybe it was
Got
Raya.
it. Got it.
Date is dating, but and I was kind of like dating somebody else, so it wasn't really maybe as responsive.
Still on Raya though.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Come on.
I was trying to be faithful. I'm just on Raya. You know what I mean?
No, I was trying to see where it was going. You know, like it was one of those things where it's like, when you're dating and you're like, okay, where will this go? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There's
and
some girl out there right now going, he was on fucking Raya.
No, for sure, for sure.
they're on Riot too. Sometimes the girl that I'm
You see
getting
them?
serious with, I see on. I'm like, oh, it's both of us, bitch. okay, I see how this is going.
Then you're like mad. It's like, well, wait a minute, I'm doing the same fucking thing. Yeah.
Yo, I see you on Riot. Get off that shit.
This like-minded ass bitch. How dare she, bitch? Think like
That's
me
like
ass
that's like
bitch.
when you're in a bar at like noon and you're like, who are these fucking degenerates? You're at a job while you're at the bar. You're like, give me 2 more. You're in the same fucking place, man.
Bro, I had
the
a
same
moment.
boat.
There's somewhat related to that is oh fuck. I was watching UFC, right? And I'm watching it, and like these guys are like trying to pound each other's fucking heads. You know what I mean? And they're just going at it, just beating the shit out of each other, kicking each other in the fucking face, elbowing each other in the fucking head, right? And I'm just stoked. I'm into it. I'm so stoked. And then one guy hits the other guy flush and just knocks him clean out. He's on the ground, totally passed out. And then gets on him and then starts punching him while he's passed out. And immediately I'm like, what kind of animal would do this? This disgusting savage.
Right.
How dare you punch this guy in the face? And I
Right.
found where like my morality kicks in with violence.
That's it. That's the line.
There's a line.
How dare this human cockfighting who's been revved up and just fucking thrown into the ring? How dare he take it too far?
Bro,
But there's a line.
There's
Oh
a
man, every
line.
YouTube I've ever watched where someone's out cold on the pavement and they're just fucking hitting their face.
That's it.
That's it. I can't do it. I'll watch the knockouts. I'll watch the big hit. But once it's like a lifeless body, you're a savage.
You running up the score.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
running up the score.
Pour the starters. Famous over.
Yeah. Yup.
It's
Real
over.
talk, man. There's something, but maybe it's like evolutionary. Maybe it's like evolutionary.
Yeah.
It's an evolutionary reaction. Maybe that's why we pass out from a concussion, because the person
call off the
seeing us
dogs.
knocked out.
Yeah.
I can't punch someone who's passed out. Now they're wired a little different, right? They're wired for that kind of violence when they're in the ring. But I think the average person sees someone get knocked out and then just
Over.
goes,
I won. Yeah. I would hope. Shit.
I'm saying if you're trying to get out of a fight,
Fighting is survival.
just
right?
knock out real
Yeah,
quick, like the first touch.
Have a seizure, man.
Shout out to my epileptics. Guys, let's wrap it up here.
I really
give them
appreciate it,
everything.
Man. That was very funny shit.
Of course, man. Thanks so much for coming on. We got to have you back on. But tell us all the places where they can find you.
Answer the Internet on YouTube and Barstool Sports on YouTube. KFC Radio on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you can listen. Follow me on Twitter at KFC Barstool, and the website is just barstoolsports.com.
Beautiful.
That's everything.
Yo, I'm headlining.
We're gonna do shows in the beginning.
Okay.
So they already know we've done the shows in the beginning. But is there anything else you just want to?
Nah, come through the shows, dog. Houston, April 18th, and then Caroline's April 26th and 27th.
Just said we're gonna do the shows in the beginning. But just do it again. I guess it's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm saying. I'm just reiterating.
All right, bet.
There's going to be more info up top.
Okay, word. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for listening, man. Go check out my boy Kev. And yeah, this has been Flagrant 2. Keep it tight. Peace.